F7. Actually recording. Okay. I'm terrified. How does this end? How does this actually end? I feel like we're at the climax
Basically
right now.
continue, but
Yeah, yeah. I guess
I'll
I'd be
try not
lying.
to.
I, as you do exactly that. I'm kidding.
I didn't realize you were starting.
uh, okay, okay. I guess I'd be lying if I said I didn't get any sleep. Tried to stay awake all night, but there were definitely gaps in my memory. I guess I kept nodding off and jerking awake in panic all night. I spent all night hugging the metal bed and sat on top of the futon I used to barricade my door. Waiting, waiting, watching just in case someone tried to break in through my window. If I left this spot, someone would break through the door, sending the futon flying, and attack me. But if I stopped watching the window, someone would break through the glass and attack me. I tried telling myself that I was just being paranoid, but I couldn't sleep. The thought of being so vulnerable scared the living daylights out of me. If sleep meant taking that risk, I didn't need it. It was so much better to just stay awake. At some point during that endless cycle of nodding off and jolting awake, light began to shine outside, but that was it. It wasn't so much the morning as it was just the sun simply having risen. I stuck a peek out through the curtains. Rena was gone. I couldn't see her anywhere no matter how hard I looked. Finally, I could breathe a deep sigh of relief. The night was finally over. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tired, but I didn't feel like sleeping at the moment. I still had time, but I needed to make my own breakfast, so I'd better get started soon. Skipping school was also an option. With my mom gone, it'd be easier to play hooky. Honestly, I debated it. The risk involved in leaving my house was incalculable. So, staying holed up in here was probably my safest option. But staying here wouldn't solve anything. Oishi-san wouldn't help me without cold hard evidence. Neither he, nor my parents. So, unless I found some sort of proof, these relentless nights would never end. I stretched my body, tilted my head back, and closed my eyes just like I did every morning. I regulated my breathing and regained my senses. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. Let's go to school. Let's wait until they set their trap for me. That didn't mean I was just going to twiddle my thumbs. I needed to avoid that trap and secure irrefutable evidence. Take note of the plates of any car that drives by. If I see someone suspicious, check their clothes and face. I wasn't just protecting myself. I was preparing myself to turn their attack against them and retaliate. The tension was similar to when two samurai were both aiming to slay each other with a single notion as they drew their katanas. I was not at a disadvantage. I would have a chance to retaliate. I finally felt a bit of courage going in my chest. All right, let's go to school. I tightened my grip on Satoshi's back. He was the only partner I could count on. Satoshi, please lend me your strength, and entrust your dying regrets to me, since you were probably murdered. I'll make sure I dispel them.
No, I don't think I will.
With renewed resolve, I checked the clock. It was still early. Of course, I was going to school by myself today. If I didn't want to run into Rena or Mion, I needed to leave now. The shattered fragments of the cupboard were still strewn all over the entryway. Right. I meant to clean it up last night, but never got around to it with the phone call and everything. If my parents came back and saw this while I was at school, I would never hear the end of it. Still, I'd be wasting time if I cleaned it up right now. And considering what would happen if I ran into Rena and Mion, it wouldn't be too late to clean it up after I got back home. Making extra certain that the doors were locked, I left the house.
And then he never came back.
Yeah, probably not, honestly. My uniform was still covered in mud from yesterday, so I left it in the washer. Today I was going to school in a tracksuit. Wearing a different outfit this morning, my mind was forced to accept that today was different from yesterday. I had a hunch. Today might be the day I get killed. Foreshadowing. My
Roll
favorite
the
narrative
credits.
device. Keep your guard up, Keiichi Maibara. The only one who gets to decide if today's my last is me. I spent the morning practicing my swing like it was my natural routine. After a while, Rena arrived at school. Our eyes met, but we said nothing. Rena said nothing about last night, as if it never happened. I know your fingers hurt, but I could see that those events were real by the wounds carved into her fingers. Yeah. I just heard her telling Satoko and the others that the bandages were from hurting herself in the kitchen. Though it wasn't like it bothered me. Details that Oyashiro-sama shared about Rena's incident for her transfer played vividly in my mind. Now that I knew about it, I couldn't even dream of Rena as a cute, ideal girl. Damn,
Probably again, sorry.
find out about her mental illness, and this is how you treat her now?
K-Chan, I see you're still aiming for the nationals.
I'm aiming for your face. It was Mion. I had already sensed her approach, so I wasn't that surprised. He's using 100% of his brain.
What if Keiichi used 100% of his Maybaras?
Oh, Mion. If you understand, then leave me alone. I'm busy practicing. I gave her a curt reply about my usual jokes. Then I gave a bat an even larger swing, tacitly keeping Mion from getting any closer.
Hey, Kei-chan, take it easy.
I think Mion got the message, but she still urged me to give it a rest. Homeroom's not that far off, is it? Just let me finish practicing. I swung the bat even harder as the sound of my refusal.
Kei-chan, why did you get into baseball?
Just recently.
Recently? You mean yesterday?
Don't ask if you already know.
Oh dear. That's a very unsportsmanlike reply.
You are distracting me. Go away. I ignored Mion and kept swinging. Normally, she'd get mad or bored and leave if someone gave her the cold shoulder like this. But Mion just stood there, waiting patiently for me to stop swinging. I didn't sense any hostility, but we were at school, in plain view. I doubt she'd suddenly attack me here. Or was that too naive? Still, I was starting to get tired. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to take a break and hear her out. You need me for something, right? What is it? Sweat poured from me as I stopped swinging. I noticed my shoulders were heaving as I breathed. I cursed my lack of exercise. At this rate, I might not be able to move as needed when the time came. I should probably keep practicing my swings to build stamina in addition to the excuse for carrying the bat around with me.
Well, it's nothing important. If you're tired, I can ask again later.
Now it's fine. I'm only dealing with you right now because I judge the situation to be safe. Talking to you alone and away from others? That's out of the question.
Well,
Mion was uncharacteristically trying to choose her words. But unlike Uishi-san, it didn't look like she was going to talk about something I'd rather not hear. Mion was puzzled, trying to find the right thing to say. But then she gave a hearty laugh to break herself out of that mire.
This old man's just no good at this stuff. Having a poor vocabulary hurts.
What's this all of a sudden? If you have something to say, just say it.
Stop it. Stop that swinging.
She cut straight to the point. Her request was so frank, I didn't understand it for a moment. I had already stopped swinging to listen to her, hadn't I? I just stopped, didn't I?
That's not what I meant. I want today to be the last day you swing that bat. I'm sorry.
It took me some time to understand what she was asking for. What's wrong with swinging a bat? Why? It's none of your business, is it? I'm not bothering anyone, am I?
You are.
Mion said it flat out. This didn't make any sense, and that was really irritating. When did I bother anybody? Mion was at a loss for words, but she finally made up her mind and spoke, though she stuttered as she said it.
But because Kei-chan, that's someone else's bat.
Whose bat is it?
You shouldn't borrow it without permission.
Can I get permission? It was left behind by a student who transferred, right? I'm just borrowing it until he comes back for it.
Huh? Yeah. He transferred.
Mion grew uncharacteristically flustered. That made it all too clear that his transfer was a lie. But strange, isn't it? For the older brother to transfer by himself, while his little sister stayed behind. He's rage baiting now. Mion couldn't hide her reaction as my words shook her up.
Kei-chan? You knew?
Satoshi Hojo. Satoko's older brother, right? The one demoned away last year. Unable to respond to that, Mion fell silent. Rena asked the same thing. Why did you start swinging that bat? She told me Satoshi did the same thing, practicing his swings, right before he went missing. So, is this some kind of omen for Oyashiro-sama's curse? Uh-oh. Keiji just said the secret phrase. Mion panicked and looked around.
It's the forbidden phrase. Please, Kei-chan, don't mention Oyashiro-sama so recklessly.
She's fucking terrified.
I don't believe in him, but the others very much do. Rena especially.
Dangerously so?
Anyway, you're scaring everyone. If you're just fooling around, then stop it. You have to stop acting like Satoshi.
I was the one who was scared. Who do I have to thank for taking up this bat in the first place? But it still unsettled me knowing that my actions were overlapping with Satoshi's. It would be one thing if someone suggested it, but I thought I was making my own decisions. I'll say this now. I don't know anything about Satoshi. After all, you didn't tell me anything about him.
We didn't mean to hide it.
The two hiders of it. You were hiding the incidents that happen every year, weren't you?
That's because we didn't want to.
You didn't want to scare me? That's your reason for leaving me out?
No, we didn't mean to.
Mion, I asked you directly if something happened at the dam, didn't I? And you told me nothing happened. When someone was dismembered and murdered. You lied to me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you.
Friends don't hide things from each other, right? Isn't that right? Then you all aren't my friends.
Kei-chan, we...
more than earned crash, by the way. Mion looked helpless and flustered. Was I imagining the tears in her eyes? I never could have imagined Mion acting like this. Oh, by the way, those Keiwa mochi you brought the other day. They were good. I thought I was going to bleed. Who did it? You or Rena?
Me.
I'd swing on her right here and now, I'm sorry. She admitted it. She admitted it so easily. I couldn't help but be surprised at how easy that was. Rena's not really. I'm sorry, Mion's not really down for the cause. Like Rena's been like gaslit into it because like she's probably so paranoid she could kill people off the strength of it. Mion's just like here for the conspiracy. She's just like, oh yeah, this sounds fun. Oh wait, y'all are serious about this? I'm leaving Oyashiro Twitter. This shit gets too serious.
You don't blame me if you get possessed.
You could have killed me. How could you do that to a friend?
But it was just a little prank.
I would have swung at her here too. There's like three X's and you're out, Mion. Mion gave me a wry smile amidst confusion. No, she's on strike 2 by now. This really is baseball. Don't strike out now, Mion. What?
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Mion gave me a wry smile amidst confusion, causing even more anger to well up inside me. You think that was a prank? I grabbed Mion by the collar and lifted her up. It wasn't the same as putting Tabasco sauce on a piece of mochi. It was a needle, a sewing needle. If I had swallowed that, and it lodged in my throat. What did she think would happen? Mion's face froze as her body rattled in fear. This wasn't the Mion Sonozaki I knew anymore. Anyways, you're not my friend. There's no reason for me to listen to someone who's not my friend, so just leave me alone for a while. Got it? Mion wasn't replying anymore. It won't be that easy to erase me, you know. Does he know that he has one chapter to live? The cops have been on to you from the start, so don't think you can make me disappear like you did Satoshi. I said it clearly. This was my declaration of war. I think you guys are suspects in the previous incidents too. I also know you spent a lot of time with the cops ever since the anti-dam movement. Don't think you can hide it from me. Got that?
How? How did you know?
Were you not watching me the entire time? I had a feeling you'd know that I knew. Mion stood there with a dumbstruck look on her face. That was when I heard the principal ringing the bell for school. It was time for morning homeroom. Let's go. The class representative needs to be there, right? At that moment, for the first time, I realized Mion was sobbing as tears ran down her cheeks.
You're so mean, Kei-chan.
You put a needle in my mochi! I don't know why I'm Keiichi maxing so hard right now. You put a needle in my mochi. In my man's mochi. Not me, but like him.
Don't give me ideas, I could do it.
Me? I went to console her, but I shut my mouth. I had no need to feel guilty. I'm going. Don't be late for homeroom. I left Mion, still shaking, as I turned around to head for the entrance. I feel like I'm falling for something here. I want to know why. I want to know why. I want to know why. Like, what is forcing everybody's hand? I feel like they're not just like evil like that.
Or Mion.
Yeah, I had no idea how troubling it was to make a girl cry. Behind my back, I could hear her muttering. It was a faint mutter she was speaking to herself. Was she saying I'm so... Oh.
So that's how it is.
Huh? She wasn't saying it to anyone. It was Mion talking to herself. But it was a sobbing voice that had a kind of giddy, cursing tone. I inadvertently stopped and turned back towards her. Ah!
So it was that bastard. He leaked it all to Kei-chan.
Uh-oh. She balled up her fists as her tears continued to rain down. She glared at the spot of the ground, with a terrifying, yet smiling face, cursing. A chill ran down my spine from that demonic expression. This transformation, Mia's transformation, was different from Rena's.
I should have killed him back then. He forgot the mercy I showed him just because he was going to retire this year.
Retiring this year? Was she talking about Higurashi-san?
Damn it. I'm going to kill that damn old man.
It felt like the air itself had begun distorting. With Mion at the center, the world had begun to twist and spiral, bending, whirling. This was the first time I'd experienced such a massage. Okay.
His attention.
Mio made up an excuse for her red eyes by saying there was something wrong with her contacts. After that, neither Rena nor Mion spoke to me for the rest of the day. Neither Satoko nor Rika-chan looked me in the eye. Strangely, I didn't feel hurt.
They're all in on it.
Yeah. I feel like okay, if you're Rika or Satoko and you've been like orphaned by whatever's happening, by this whole conspiracy, you have no choice. If you're Rena or if you're Mion, what are you doing? What are these middle schoolers doing at the center of a conspiracy around like a string of deaths?
Attention, probably.
They wanted to make the news. They didn't know it went this deep. Everything had just went back to the way it was. The months since I transferred in had almost been too much fun. That was all. School was supposed to be something like this to begin with. I should have disliked that feeling, but today it felt oddly refreshing. The bell rung, sounding to enter the monotonous school day, which had felt so tense yet so dull. Since it would cause a lot of unpleasant memories if they asked me to join in the club activities, I promptly started preparing to go home without even looking at them. I stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag, wrapped my hand around Satoshi's now familiar bat, and began heading towards the entrance. I was assailed by both the exhausting relief that nothing had happened today, and the tiring possibility of the same thing repeating tomorrow. But, deep down inside me, far beneath in the recesses of my heart, achingly, I knew this would be the last day of this cycle. I couldn't tell how the ending would be, whether it would end as I wished it to end, or if it would end as I hoped it wouldn't. Regardless, in my current state, there was something more important than how things would end. There was something I wanted to know. Why did I have to be killed? How did it come to this? Why? For what purpose? The sunlight was relentless. The sun, the heat, even the air. It wouldn't give me any answers, Arcs. Or could it be that the Higurashi no Nakukoro ni were desperately trying to tell me something? Somewhere, mixed in with their shrieks, Tomitake-san and Satoshi were also probably trying to tell me something. I simply haven't been able to realize it yet. When I do realize it, I wonder if I will be amongst the Higurashi fruitlessly crying to their next victim. Glancing down at my feet, I saw Higurashi on his back, spasming weakly. Wait, wait, wait. There was still much of the summer left, yet this one was already chirping his last song. I couldn't tell what it was saying, no matter how hard I listened. But I had to try. I had to try to listen to what it was desperately trying to tell me. What witch is into Higurashi? At that moment, the shrills of the Higurashi ceased all at once, as if they had huddled together, fearing that the person who'd brought them to their dreadful fate had arrived. There was no mistaking it. A presence was approaching. The sound of footsteps was almost non-existent. If the Higurashi hadn't warned me by ending their chirping, I wouldn't have noticed. My exhaustion left me in a heartbeat. In its place was a rush of adrenaline that sharpened all my senses. I was just barely able to hold back that creeping, suffocating feeling of horror. It wasn't something I could hold back for too long. But in this moment, when I needed to be razor sharp, I was able to retain my composure. I wasn't going to shout out like I did yesterday. I hid myself calmly amongst the trees, waiting for my pursuer's shadow. Could I get them to pass by me? No. Since I was able to hear their footsteps, they were probably also able to hear mine. They might have already been able to tell that I had hidden myself and was holding my breath. The person tailing me, was it Rena, just like yesterday? If it was Rena, I wouldn't hold back. I could just yell at her and make her go ahead like yesterday. If it wasn't Rena, it would depend on how they acted, I guess. The footsteps ambled closer. I swallowed, wiped my clammy hands on my pants, and readjusted the grip of the bat. I could tell that the fear I had beaten back once was now waiting for another opening to come at me. Who could it be?
Knocking at my door.
I peeked out from behind the tree at the person following me.
Oh, it
my
is her.
imagination hadn't led me astray. It was Rena. Oh my god, she has that Thule on her.
That face.
she has that thing on her.
Rena's about to cook something devious.
There was a bit of relief as I realized it was someone I knew, but that feeling left me in an instant. This wasn't the same Rena that I knew. Her eyes were dark and lifeless, but her mouth appeared as if it was carved into a crescent. Yes, it looked like she was grinning slightly, and in her right hand was an axe. I hid myself behind the tree once again and recalled the unbelievable sight I just saw. What was that just now? The embodiment of terror laid bare. Baseball, practicing my swing. There are tons of excuses for me to be carrying a bat. For that axe? There was no excuse for that. An axe, just like that? Are you playing hide and seek? I wonder. My heart was pounding. Hard enough that I had trouble breathing. What little composure I had been able to hold on to was now crushed. In its place, cold sweat gushed forth, covering my entire body. letting me know precisely what kind of emotion had taken hold. Not good, not good, not good. I wasn't able to hide myself completely. She already knew it was here. Are you trying to scare me, I wonder? I wonder?
How the fuck did she get an axe?
I think she had that on her the entire time. They were talking about her earlier. Like, Tomatake had seen her carrying an axe, just like walking around.
And she's like, I'm about to jump.
And Kate was like, that's just normal behavior. Reddit just does that sometimes. The far cry from now. I decided it would be better to reveal myself now, since there was still space between us, and to allow Reddit to come any closer. I adjusted my grip on the bat again, readied myself mentally, and stepped out from behind the tree. I found you, Keiichi-kun. Rena was pleased that she found me, eliciting a mysterious giggle. Her mouth was smiling, but her eyes told me she was displeased by the fact that I had been hiding. Those eyes, they were just so empty. My legs began to quiver. Not good. In the pit of my stomach, some sort of vicious hot and cold substance began spreading around. If I allowed it, that substance would slip into my bloodstream and undoubtedly freeze all the organs in my body. Not good, not good. I'll be devoured by Ren at this rate. Strike back! Don't lose! What is it? I blustered, hiding behind my bravado. But Rena didn't flinch one bit. Just the same as Keiichi-kun. I'm heading home. What about that axe? And what about that bat you're holding? I'm practicing my swing. And I'm treasure hunting. Rena gave a flippant explanation as to why she had a fearsome weapon. Treasure hunting? At the treasure mountain near the dam site, I found a new cute thing. So I need just to dig it out. How could I believe that? You wouldn't believe it, would you? Rena's laugh was obviously very strange. I'd seen Rena's transformation many times before, but the one today was completely different. Like her mischievous tone and the shrewd glint in her eyes. It wasn't something that roundabout. I'm not sure what to say. It was just so obvious. Wait, Keiichi-kun. Okay, she goes. Rena didn't stop walking, even as she let out that eerie laugh. Whenever Rena got too close to me, I would scurry away and turn back towards her. This cycle repeated over and over. No matter how you looked at it, I was being chased by Rena and was trying to escape. Don't follow me! I can't do that. My house is this way, after all. When I met with Rena on this road yesterday...
Yeah, he's cooked.
Yeah, she cowered and trembled as she followed my commands. But today was different. Rena didn't show a hint of trepidation. Actually, wasn't I the one who was cowering? The way home for Rena was the same as mine. It's fine, I just changed my route. That'd work out, wouldn't it? Turned to a side street I'd never been down and knew little about. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to try, I just wanted to see the sights today. Choking. But Rena saw me do that and followed me while laughing. Yep, she did in fact change her route. She wanted to see something new today. Why? Why? Weren't you going home? You just go home down the street you normally do. Why? Did you follow me down this weird little side road? A thought screamed in my head, eventually spilling out of my mouth. Why are you following me? So my voice was already tinged with terror. Because I want to talk with Keiichi-kun. Keiichi-kun wants to talk with Rena too, doesn't he? Doesn't he? I don't want to talk about anything with you. That's a lie, isn't it? There's something I want to ask you about, isn't there? Not at all! I have nothing to talk to you about. That's a lie, isn't it? It's not a lie! Rena's scream echoed, startling some nearby birds into flight. I cringed in fear. The only thing I could do was increase my pace. Let's talk. Let's talk, Keiichi-kun. Talk. Talk. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Talk about this cute little thing I found. I was running down this unfamiliar road, unfamiliar and deserted street. Has the Keiichi-kun has something he's worried about? Nothing at all. I'm not worried about anything! Even though I was running, even though Rena was walking, I wasn't getting any farther away. I know. No, I really do know. You're scared, aren't you, Keiji-kun? I'm not scared. I'm not scared of anything. She's just having fun. My breathing grew heavy, and it felt like my legs were giving out from beneath me. Rena wasn't even breaking a sweat. I'll listen. This time, I'll listen. I had no idea what she was talking about or exactly what she wanted to do. This time, I'll listen. It will be different from the time with Satoshi-kun. When she says Satoshi's name, I turned back for a moment. Even as I did that, Rena was still advancing. I couldn't afford to stop. Satoshi-kun was worried too. I felt like he was having such a hard time. But I didn't listen. I was so sad. Where did the street connect to? All the twists and turns, ups and downs. It was hard to believe. If this was even remotely in the direction towards my house. My sense of direction had long since gone out the window. I really regretted it when Satoshi-kun transferred out. I thought that if I had listened, he may not have transferred out. I really regretted that. The road led me deeper into the forest. Wasn't I getting farther away from the village the more I ran? I lost more and more of my composure the more I thought about it. Despite this realization, my inner self was still disturbingly calm. So you see, I vowed that if there was someone struggling as Satoshi-kun, I'd save them. I don't want to see anyone transfer out again. Damn it!
A binding vow.
What does transfer even mean? I won't let you transfer me. I won't end up the same as Satoshi. Come on, Keiji-kun. Talk to me. I'll be able to understand you, Keiji-kun. I'm your ally. Some ally you are. I started wheezing out of breath. My lungs were so hot that they felt like they were going to explode, and my heart was beating as hard as it possibly could. I should have practiced running instead of my swing. I couldn't even afford to scoff at that stupid thought. If Keiji-kun doesn't have anything to worry about, we'll go back to normal. Everyone will be back to being friends, and we can enjoy club activities again. Next time we'll team up and beat Mi-chan. Yeah, how much fun that would be. Rena couldn't even imagine how much I had wished I could turn the clock back on these past few days. You could be nice again. You could be nice to me again, too. I want to go searching for treasure again. This time I'll prepare a nice lunch. Actually, we can just go right now. Let's go to the dam site together. I'll show you the cute thing I just found. I'm sure you'll like it, too. I'm good off that. I don't want to know. My footsteps made pathetic flapping sounds as my legs wobbled and faltered. Hot on my heels, Rena's steps were sharply breaking twigs underfoot. I had to accept it. I was on the run, being chased by Rena. If she caught me, it was all over. I realized it instinctively. I couldn't even begin to think of what the end would entail. Just that if I was caught, it was all over. That's all I knew. It didn't matter how it was going to end. I wouldn't let it end. Not without knowing anything. Not yet. That momentary lapse was all it took. Of all the things that could have happened, my knees buckled underneath me and I crumbled towards the ground. I tried to stand frantically, urging my legs to respond. Oh my god, it's just what he had daydreamed about during that earlier scene. I used my bat as a makeshift cane to prop myself up, but Rena was already standing right in front of me. She'd teleport there. Compared to me, out of breath and utterly exhausted, Rena was so cool and composed that she could have froze the air around her. She wasn't breathing hard at all. Rather, I couldn't even sense if her heart was beating. Are you afraid of something, I wonder? It's not like you to tremble, Keiji-kun. Stop laughing with everything you say. Her expression looked almost affectionate.
Why are you laughing, Rena? That's disrespectful as shit, bro.
My Keiichi's kind of doomed. Those soulless eyes. That mask of affection. As she admonished me for trembling, Rena's hands deftly slipped over her head. The flare of arms as they moved made me feel as if I was staring at the godliness of the thousand-armed Buddha. Then, as both of her hands met above her head, the axe that she held came into focus. I stared up at it in disbelief. It was all I could do. Tell me, what happened to Satoshi? Rena stayed like that, with that axe raised above her head, and solemnly opened her mouth. It was as if she was expressing a farewell to a friend she was never to see again. That cruel scenario resided somewhere in her actions. I told you. Satoshi-kun transferred. Oh. Enough of that transfer cap! It means demoned away, doesn't it? Doesn't it? You can tell me now, can't you? Who made Satoshi disappear? Was it you? Mion? Or someone in the village? Answer me! I became frantic the more I screamed. But Rena did nothing but maintain the smile frozen on her face. I have no idea what Keiichi-kun is talking about. And I'll say it in a way so you do. Who is the perpetrator of this chain of mysterious deaths? You seem to be confused, Keiichi-kun. What? There is no human perpetrator. Everything is by Oyashiro-sama's will. Isn't Oyashiro-sama's curse just superstition? You believe in that too? It's not about believing or not. Oyashiro-sama exists! Period. Oh god! Oh god! I'm right back home! I'm right back home! Oh my god, single quotation exists? It's just, Umineko's just Higurashi again. I can't even say it's Umineko again. It's the other way around. The more I read Higurashi.
Oyashiro-sama exists!
You know I can't do that, Keiichi-kun. I don't even have a red.
What do you mean you can't? You just said it! So this is how my story ends.
Literally, yes. He gets hit with an Umineko reference and he dies.
Little did we know that this is actually the
Oh my god. Rena's gaze grew even more gelid. Ferocity of her stare was so intense, not allowing me to question anything. There's just no way that something like Oyashiro-sama could exist. You don't believe in Oyashiro-sama? There's no way I could believe it! There's no way it could exist. It exists. Oyashiro-sama exists. Keiichi-kun should have felt it personally. I never felt something like that! Keiichi-kun, haven't you felt someone apologizing to you before? Constantly, on top of that? All noise from the outside world disappeared. Only Rena's voice resounded, loudly and terribly. You see, until you forgive them, they'll always be with you. Oh, it's all coming back, dude. From the beginning, there's been the noise of someone apologizing. Do you remember the train scene at the beginning of the beginning of the chapter? With someone apologizing. He's haunted. Keiichi's haunted. He's actually haunted. You know what? At this point, I might believe. Maybe Oyashiro does like single quote exist. Oh my god.
It's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know who that's meant for, but you should probably forgive him already. Not knowing he was the one needing to forgive. Ah! Hold on.
You've done it again.
His writing is this fire. At school. At home. At your bedside. I couldn't understand what Rena was saying. Came to me too. Oyashiro-sama did. That's why I transferred and came back to Hinamizawa. I don't understand. What does transfer even mean? What was Rena saying? Wasn't Oyashiro-sama coming to you as well, Keiichi-kun? I'm probably the only one you can confide in. I won't let you transfer out, okay? I'm cutting out. Rena's dimension of laughter clanged around inside my head. Was Rena saying Oyashiro-sama came to her as well? That's right. Last night I heard about that when I asked about Rena.
Please keep this confidential. Also, part of this may be speculation. Not all of it may be true. Are you still interested?
Oishi-san began speaking. Don't you love flashbacks, young boy?
Neither the victims nor the school filed a complaint, so there's no preliminary report. Basically, the police hadn't intervened in this matter. So all these details are just what I heard from those involved. Also, I said this again. Meaning it's not that credible.
You said there were victims? Didn't Rena just break all the windows?
No, Rena Ryugu had attacked 3 boys using a metal bat. 2 of them made it out with only bruises, but the other had been injured so badly that one of his eyes was permanently damaged.
Wouldn't that be considered assault? Shouldn't the police have arrested her?
For whatever reason, the victim never pressed charges, for some reason. There was no report to the police, so...
They were beaten with a bat and suffered significant injuries. Normally, there would be a criminal investigation. Why? Didn't they press charges?
I tried asking the 3 male victims for their side of the story, but they all were reluctant. It's hard to say, but they were all afraid, even after she had transferred schools.
Oishi-san, could you summarize it starting from the beginning? Rena hit people when she broke the windows?
Boy.
This is like a flashback that happened off screen. Or was it she started breaking the windows after she got bored of hitting people? They sounded similar, but the meanings were drastically different.
On an undisclosed date, Rena Ryugu was conversing with 3 male students, close friends of hers, near the pool storage shed.
Who were those 3?
I can't reveal their names, but they were close to Rena Ryugu, and it seems they were a group of friends. She was the lone girl in their group. She said something about staying out of my shed, okay?
So, it wasn't that strange that the 4 of them were together. So what happened?
I don't know the reason why. She took the baseball team's bat that was in the pool storage shed and beat the 3 of them down out there, one after the other.
What? There were no witnesses. This was an account pieced together by the information given at the time of the incident. One day after school, Rena and 3 male students were at the pool storage shed talking together. They weren't seeking help. Rather, they usually met up there. It appears it became a heated discussion. At that time, Rena underwent a change. The change was so abrupt that the 3 of them didn't comprehend what was happening. Then, taking the metal bat, she attacked her friends one after the other.
Oh.
Leaving her friends covered in blood with gashes under her heads, she made her way towards the school building. She wasn't satisfied.
She's like, I want more!
And she broke the glass windows one after the other. A few minutes later, a teacher appeared on scene and subdued her. She was feeling a little angry.
That's how you beat Oyashiro-sama?
Yeah, to death. Yeah, actually, yeah. One detention can solve the Hinamizawa massacres. What was this change Rena underwent?
What matches up with the statements from the 3 was a sudden change. The point there was a transformation. The point that there was a transformation.
Transformation. Okay, genuinely, leading theory, Rena just has DID. She has like multiple alters. There's just like the many Renas. Rena is one yet many. I feel like this is just canon. It's just a thing.
Only time will tell if you're right or not.
I feel like throughout this we've talked like multiple Renas. It's just like what the situation became more dire. The billboard Rena like gave up front and just like let the others handle the situation. She got too flustered.
Yeah, it's like also in your group.
Kinda. If this was like CSM adjacent, they'd be all the other Renas would just be out trapping, live reacting to the Rena's activities. I also could call Rena's transformation. I'd seen that change many times before. It was so different from the usual Rena that I couldn't help but believe it was someone else who looks like Rena. That transformation you're talking about. It had happened before?
No, there was nothing like that. As far as I could find out, in her medical history and past, there was nothing like that.
Does it happen often? Where people change suddenly like Rena did?
Of course it does. It's called schizophrenia.
Be nice.
There are plenty of psychological phenomena that could cause something like that.
Then, you're saying there's a dormant element in Rena that caused a transformation?
I cannot say that for certain. But according to the statements of her friends, it is hard to believe she had such a side to her.
Kind, caring, and adorable.
Oyashiro-sama is also a vague poster.
Yeah. Even before she transferred here, she was probably pretty popular in school like she was now. A girl transforming suddenly and assaulting them with a bat. Who could imagine such a thing? Nobody could have seen it coming. I, myself, sometimes believed that I was mistaken for thinking that was Rena, even now. Then, what happened after that?
There was a hospital right across from the school, so the three of them were carried in and treated quickly.
What about Rena? What about the police? Why wasn't there a criminal investigation?
You see, the police can't get involved unless they are called.
Even though one was badly injured with permanent damage? Why didn't they file charges?
That's what caught my attention as well. Either some threat or pressure was placed on them, or they had a reason they couldn't file charges even if they wanted to.
We're talking about you, after all. Of course you looked into it, didn't you?
Well, yeah. But I told you at the beginning, didn't I? That the victims were all very reluctant to talk. They didn't want to touch on the matter, or rather, they didn't want to be involved.
Reluctant to talk. Didn't want to touch it. Didn't want to be involved. They resembled their villagers here in Oyashiro-sama's curse. Did the teacher at that school tell you anything?
The school is hallowed ground. You could say they tend to keep scandals under wraps. I didn't have to search for it, so I had to tread lightly, you see.
Then, there was no comment from the school?
No. They denied the incident even happened. So TLDR, Oishi-san, I was like, actually no. What was I gonna say? It's like, random teacher, did this incident happen? No. Understood. That's all I needed to know.
Nothing ever happened.
It's just 3 male students were carried in for blunt force trauma that day. That's all there was in the hospital records.
Victims didn't speak. The school denied it happened. You don't know anything at all!
Yeah, at least he admits it. I know nothing other than the incident itself had taken place. The victims also wish this incident to be kept from the public, so you and I both forget about it, maybe. That this incident will probably just fade away.
For a brief period, we sat in silence. At first glance, it looked like a simple assault case. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. The depths were obscured by rolling waves, sinking quietly into the void, as if it never existed to begin with.
After that, she was suspended by the school. And during that time, she underwent psychiatric counseling.
Did you hear anything from that doctor?
Again, they were very professional in regards to their ethics. Or at least very tight-lipped.
Nothing even after you showed them your badge?
I was told to get a warrant. The badge itself has no legally binding authority after all.
Then how did you know? But Rena confessed that it was Oyashiro-sama who did it.
There was a nurse I asked in that department. She agreed to help me just from showing her my badge.
Then what did she say? Turns out the nurse hadn't heard everything. Apparently, all she remembered was that she overheard from inside the room.
The nurse said that at the time, Rena Ryugu was very calm and mild-mannered.
It was more like she was confessing her sins at a church more than a counseling session. She spoke with her mother there for some of it, but partway through, her mother was asked to leave, so it became a private counseling session between just a doctor and Rena for a while. Part of Oyashiro-sama. When did that pop up?
Partway through, she screamed the name suddenly. That startled the nurse, and that's why she started listening in.
Oyashiro-sama! Rena suddenly shouted that. I had no idea what was said before that, so I had no idea what the meaning behind it could have been. The doctor, calmly and collectively, asked Rena to have a seat.
What is this Oyashiro-sama you speak of?
Gently, ever so gently. A fundamental part of counseling is to be a good patient listener. Whoever abandons Higurashi will be hunted down by Oyashiro-sama. And it's finally gotten to me.
That's the town you lived in before you moved here. Isn't that right, Ryugu-san?
I didn't want to move. Because of my mom and dad's circumstances, we had to. But Oyashiro-sama wouldn't allow it.
Ryugu-san must have lots of friends in Hinamizawa. Even now, you must be missing them dearly, don't you think?
I want to go back. Back to Hinamizawa. No, it's not that I want to go back. I had to go back. I should have gone back much sooner. But now it's too late. Oyashiro-sama has come!
Oyashiro-sama is the name of the god in Hinamizawa. Isn't that right?
Everybody knows it's Hinamizawa's garden deity. And if you ever try abandoning Hinamizawa by leaving, he'll encourage wrath.
You had moved quite a while ago, didn't you? Then, it was just now that this god has arrived, is what you're saying?
You might not believe me. Oyashiro-sama exists! That nurse was then asked by another nurse to do something and left the room. That was all she remembered. That it was Oyashiro-sama's doing, right?
I do believe that, I do believe there is that kind of superstition in Hinamizawa. That if you leave the village, then you incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath. You should be familiar with this part, Mibara-san.
You knew very well what those scorned by the village incurred. They hindered a dam construction project. They cursed the construction foreman to his death. Then the following year, Satoko's parents, supporters and leading advocates for the dam, were cursed to their death. But this was the first time I've heard of the curse incurred by leaving the village. This is my first time hearing that. I can understand outside threats being cursed by the village, but why also villagers who leave? Normally, people who leave villages aren't supposed to be cursed, right? I know it's a bit strange to say it, but I can see it as a rule that the people who come in are the ones who would be cursed. Far from Jupiter, far from this thunder. Curses weren't something to chase after people that leave, were they? Oishi-san pondered for a bit over the other end of the receiver. Then, began speaking again.
Well, I told you of long ago when Hinamizawa was called Onikakushi. Didn't I?
Good, yes, that's how you pronounce it. I recalled hearing that. Long ago, Hinamizawa was feared and respected as a village of demons.
The villagers at the foot of the mountains worshipped the demons.
So Onikakushi was hollowed ground that you could never enter.
It came to be said that if you entered carelessly, you were cursed by Oyashiro-sama.
Oh shit, I stepped like 1 foot into Onikakushi. Guess I'm dead.
Indeed.
My
I
fate will
guess
be
you're
decided.
cooked.
Yeah.
Guess that means I'm gonna be telling. Guess that means it's just gonna be me reading it.
Yeah. I'm gonna be demoned away. Those who set foot in Onikakushi, in other words, Himnozawa, would be cursed. I can understand that. I know that, but for leaving to also be no good, that's...
Also, the demons, you see, they were being strictly watched by Oyashiro-sama, so they would not enter into our world. In other words, Oyashiro-sama probably restricted interaction between Onikakushi and the rest of the world.
That was a genuine Sumari, by the way. I see. I finally understood what sort of thing Oyashiro-sama was.
Higurashi, but every time I
Mispronounce Onikakushi, like I restart the novel.
This is also how you get cursed by Oyashiro-sama. It's like mispronouncing Arkansas. They like hang for that or something.
Oyashiro-sama is in the US.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it exists. It's called going to Twitter.
So basically, Oyashiro-sama is more like a warden than a protected deity, I guess? Trying to keep this place isolated from the rest of the world.
I guess that's how it would seem. I'm sorry. I don't know very much myself. This is mostly what was passed on to me from my mother.
Sources. Word of mouth from like a few students and a nurse. Also my mom. We've got an excellent case here. No wonder nobody lets Oishi go on with the case. This is what all of his sources looks like. He has nothing.
And
I can understand
why
it
he's
better.
retiring.
Yeah. Also for like his life. I think it's in danger now. Mion's gonna get him.
I'm coming. Literally and figuratively.
I can understand it a bit better if it was like that. Those who came to Himnozawa would be cursed, and those who tried to leave would also be cursed. So, because Rena originally lived in Himnozawa and moved away, she fulfilled the requirements for being cursed. So that means, because Rena moved away against its wishes, she was cursed by Oyashiro-sama? Is that what it adds up to?
In short, that seems to be what it points to, I guess. As a matter of fact, soon afterwards, they did move back to Himnozawa after all.
Those who abandoned Himnozawa and left were cursed. But then, why only Rena? Shouldn't Rena's parents also have been guilty of the same transgression by moving away and have been cursed? Also, in this day and age in Japan, shouldn't there be a lot of people coming and going? If every single one of them was cursed, then it'd be insane. But in reality, it wasn't that big a deal at all. At most, there would be one person dying and one disappearing on a day at the Watanagashi. I don't like saying at most, though.
Well, anyways, there's a lot I still don't know. Even if it was Oyashiro-sama's curse, it doesn't explain Rena beating her classmates with a metal bat, or why the victims wouldn't press charges. You don't think the victims were cowering because they believed that a terrible curse had befallen them, do you?
Of course I didn't want to believe it. But more importantly, I had just realized something else. There was another bizarre connection that Rena made between Oyashiro-sama's curse and metal bats. Satoshi fell victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse and went missing. I had recently learned that Satoshi had also become infatuated with the metal bat right before he disappeared, just like me. Then Rena as well. She was affected by Oyashiro-sama's curse. She confessed that much to the doctor. And the weapon which she had used at the time of that horrendous act was, again, a metal bat. And finally, me. Oyashiro was a baseball player. I'd encountered various things that were inexplicable, and now I was holding on to a metal bat. I was shocked when I learned that Satoshi did the same thing. It couldn't be. Did the same thing happen to Rena? But there was one critical difference between her and Satoshi's case. That being, Satoshi went missing after falling victim to the curse, but Rena was still here. Both of them had fallen victim to Oyashiro-sama's curse, yet they were met with different endings. And finally, me. I couldn't call it a coincidence anymore. Rena, Satoshi, and finally, me. Could it be that I really was under Oyashiro-sama's curse right now? No. More importantly than that, what should I do now? Satoshi had been demoned away, vanishing without a trace. Rena was fine. Fine? Rena had undergone a change. I could only believe that there was something that wasn't Rena residing within her. And here, right now, it was standing before me. Rena, please tell me.
Make it quick! My arms hurt from holding this axe up like this.
What? What happened to me? Rena stood imposingly, not answering. Satoshi disappeared, but Rena didn't disappear. So, what happened to me? I had never heard such an unpleasant laugh before. It had become akin to the sound of her breathing. It was no longer a voice or an expression of feeling.
Don't worry, I'll save you.
Rena took one step forward, still holding the axe high above her head.
Now then.
One step closer. Rena's face spread out to fill my vision.
Speak.
One step closer. Rena's nose was close enough to touch mine. It was still pushing closer.
There's something you want to say, isn't there? I'll listen. I'll save you. Okay? Speak, okay? Speak, okay?
I slumped down, landing squarely on my butt. It wasn't for some pathetic reason. It was all I could do to get as far away from Rena. I had the gut feeling that I couldn't let her laughter end, because when that laughing ended, the moment I picked up on that feeling, my body moved by instinct. I sprang to my feet so fast I couldn't believe it. I pushed Rena away with both hands.
Oh shit.
Rena was light as a feather. Thrown about by the unbalanced weight of the axe, she was sent backwards as if she had been carried off by the wind. After confirming that out of the corner of my eye, I dashed off at full speed. That was a perfect picture of fleeing like a greased pig. Get away from Rena. Run away. Survive! I couldn't think of anything other than this. While I was running, I remembered I had been holding onto a bat the entire time. Such a worthless weapon. Couldn't believe I'd forgotten about this weapon at such an important time. I sped even farther down the winding path. I didn't even feel myself gasping for breath or my legs getting heavy. My body understood it as well. If I didn't run away from here, I wouldn't live. I could hear the laughter of that simulacrum of Rena coming from behind me. It rang through the trees into my head, and slowly chiseled away at my sanity. The grove of trees thinned out, and my field of vision suddenly expanding. What was this? For a moment, I was bewildered by the scenery I felt I knew but couldn't quite remember. I quickly realized it was a dam site. The fact that I dashed madly and ended up at a place like this gave me a bad feeling. Like I was following someone's scripted plot, does he know?
Does he know?
I had a good view of my surroundings, but I didn't see a single soul there. It was a terrible spot for someone on the run, but there was no better place for an attacker. My heart was already on the verge of bursting. The muscles of my legs were screaming, but I didn't care. If I stopped here, they might not be able to scream for much longer. Even still, I glanced back, looking for an excuse to rest. Rena wasn't there. Instead, I saw two villagers walking around. I breathed a sigh of relief as it wasn't Rena, but a third party. Except, the voice inside me rang the alarm once again. Villagers walking around weren't suspicious in and of themselves, but it bothered me. They both wore rough-looking clothes. Empty-handed, it definitely gave the impression that they were just out for a walk. But, this time of day, two adults wandering around without a purpose. It was enough to raise questions. But more than anything else, those eyes. They weren't chit-chatting while talking. They were both silent, heading forward, looking in my direction. Was that the end of my rope and I'd finally started imagining things? I should run away. That was probably the best choice. If they weren't involved, I'd lose them easily by running. If they were part of the group after me, they would come running after me. Either way, unless I hurried up, Rena would catch up with me. That's right, I was going to run. Saying that, the moment I began to turn tail, both of them rushed towards me, as if they knew exactly what I was thinking. Oh my god, everyone's after me. somewhere inside me. I had jumped to the conclusion that Rena was the only thing I needed to be afraid of. I made the assumption I didn't need to fear anything else. Right now, really suggests how blatantly wrong I was. Suddenly, the story Higurashi-san told me about the demons all leaving the village to hunt prey floated to the back of my mind. I could tell they were both coming after me without even turning around because of their frenetic footsteps. It was frightening, being unable to shake Rena off as she slowly closed in on me. But this didn't even compare. The pursuit with such violent ferocity, this straightforward horror was unparalleled. When I pursued, his arms grazed my shoulder. It wasn't just her frenzied footsteps, but also the distinct sound of their breathing that I could hear. No, I could practically feel them breathing on me. They were already right behind me. Calm down, Casey, my Bara. Still running at full tilt, I felt the surrounding area go still. No, it's not the time itself had stopped. I turned my head back slightly in that frozen world, realizing how close my pursuers had gotten to me. I couldn't win against the legs of an adult. In less than the time it would take to blink twice, when this frozen time began moving again, they'd be right on top of me. And then? Don't think about that, Keiichi. First, realize that you won't be able to shake them off like this. The fact that you can't get away was a given, and you need to make a decision. Go with the right leg or with the left. You just need to decide which one. Let's go with the left. The moment I decided that, the temporal singularity burst into pieces. Right. Left! I swung the bat in a wide arc with my right arm. Using that inertia, I stopped and suddenly spun. No! What? The two of them were clearly startled. Momentarily losing sight of me, both their outstretched arms, ready to grab me, instead grasped an empty space. The man on the right, I applaud him for being able to figure it out, spun around to the spot I shouldn't have been, and faced me in astonishment. But it was too late! I didn't even need to swing my bat. All I needed to do was extend my arms as I turned around. It was by no means a heavy blow, but it seemed like it had enough power to knock it. It had enough power behind it to knock him off his feet. But just knocking him down was enough to scare him away. He got back up in no time. Both of them took a fighting stance as they were ready to face me. This made me certain they weren't just two people out for a walk. They were clearly after me. It felt much easier than dealing with Rena. Just by not recognizing their faces, by not knowing them, it made things easier. It smiled wryly on the inside. What do you want with me? Next one is gonna be right in your face, you bastard! It's fine if it was just a bluff. By barking out at them, I was able to fire myself up. They didn't respond. They spread out to either side of me with unbelievably calm expressions on their faces. One of them would grab into my bat and the other would hold me down. Was that their plan? Taking on both of them at once, it would be impossible. Hot sweat poured from every pore of my body, and I just had to settle with the first move. I step in and strike the first one down. Narrowing my target down to the man on the right who had already been knocked down before, I stepped in and swung with all my might. There was no way for an unarmed person to guard against it. It would cause immense damage. If they blocked it with their arm, their bone would snap like a twig. If they turned their back to it, then it was possible that the blow would travel all the way to their vital organs. It looked like he was aware of this. He pushed farther through the kill zone between us and delivered a fist right to my gut. Not good. At this distance, in this position, and in this state, there was no way for me to dodge it. The world flipped upside down. I understood I was being tossed around like a rag doll. I landed on the soft earth without a sound, feeling the grainy soil press against my face.
Like a Gmod ragdoll?
Yeah. You just started spiraling, started flailing. Didn't hurt at all. But the moment I thought that, I suddenly felt pain coming from the abrasions on my skin, as well as the contents of my stomach being forced upwards, flooding in my mouth with a bitter sensation. I knew very well that I didn't have the time to relish this experience. I stood up quickly as I could, but at that moment the other man was already barreling towards me. Being able to comprehend calmly that I simply couldn't dodge it made it all the more upsetting. After applying to my stomach full force once again, my assailant twisted around me and locked his thick arm around my neck. After I felt like I was being crushed by his immense strength. I couldn't even contemplate that I was being strangled, or that I was about to go unconscious. My vision simply darkened, and a silent, whining noise began playing deep inside my mind. It took everything I had to keep myself from blacking out. While this was happening, the other man was more than likely standing in front of me. I wasn't able to open my eyes, but I could feel that he was there. There was nothing I could do now. Unable to shake his arm off me, I couldn't run. I couldn't fight back. Dire straits. I couldn't even come up with a phrase that adequately described the situation. How is he not dead? Okay. How does Keiichi get out of this one?
How is he not dead? I guess you could say it's a miracle.
Okay, welcome back home. Anyway, that was a freaky dream. Oh well.
That was no dream, boy.
A familiar ceiling. The smell of the bed and pillows. I know them well. Was this my room? Normally there wouldn't be anyone in the room besides me, but their presence made me spring right awake. When I did, pain shot through my entire body. Get out of my room!
Feeling alright? I think you'd better just lie down for a bit.
Why was Rena in my room? Blood began to surge through my muscles and my capillaries. But Rena's smile belonged to a Rena I knew well. I knew I shouldn't let myself feel this way, but I relaxed thinking that this version of Rena was safe. Why? Why?
Don't you remember?
After losing consciousness, nothing at all. My body had become more lethargic than I ever could have imagined. I guess that would be the expected outcome after exerting everything I had back there. I tried to at least clear my head, but I just couldn't shake the sluggish feeling out of my mind.
I called the doctor. He should be here soon. I think you'd better just lie down until then.
I wasn't injured seriously enough to merit calling a doctor, are you sure? But knowing someone impartial was coming was slightly reassuring. Are you sure the doctor's impartial? They're gonna put needles in her UV drip or whatever. Why am I here?
Yeah, then he'll just swallow it and then he dies.
You don't swallow UV drip, that shit enters into your bloodstream, that's even worse, that's a worse death. Well, does it drip into your mouth? I've never been to a hospital, I'm LARPing. I'm sure I was at the damn site.
That's all I want to know. What happened? When I got there, Keiji-kun was already passed out.
That's why I'm the one who wants to know. I was attacked by two weirdos. As I talked about it, I finally remembered what happened right before I passed out. Recalling that memory and the terror that went along with it caused the fogginess around my head to clear right up. Let's forget about this two for now. I didn't expect Rena to be nursing me. I thought Rena was trying to kill me.
I mean, with that face, would she really? Kichi-kun, with me making a face like that, I wouldn't be killing you. Right?
What is she doing in my room? Shut up, Hopper GX. Shut up, Hopper GX. What is she doing in my room? This creep. Ew.
Go back. Get that cursed thing away.
Manga gamer Ren is just like never on point. It's just, like her expression's like one step behind. I thought Rena was trying to kill me.
That's the real curse.
She would have had the perfect chance while I was unconscious. Not only did she not kill me, she had nursed me back to health. Amazing you could drag me all the way back here. Wasn't I heavy? Looking at Rena's delicate frame, it was hard to believe that she had not only got me back home, even dragged me all the way up to the second floor. Did she have some health?
Don't you remember, Keiji-kun?
Rena appeared a bit surprised, but still kept her smile.
I only propped you up on my shoulder. You said you could walk on your own and that you were fine. You don't remember?
I didn't remember. My memory was fuzzy after the point I lost consciousness. What about those two?
Huh?
When you got there, Rena, the ones with me, or rather, those two guys.
There wasn't anyone.
He said it bluntly. What? Okay, sure, whatever. Casey got so paranoid he like imagined himself getting a beat down. It was like, it's Patrick beating himself to death. The way she stated it felt something impressive. Yeah, it's Rena watching Casey beat himself up. I was just too timid at that time. I might have been able to force some answers out of Rena. But if I did that, this kind of Rena might transform into the scary Rena who I didn't know. Fearing that, I didn't press any further. Thinking about it, it was the obvious choice. If both those men were there, I don't think Rena would have even stood a chance. I couldn't find a way to explain it unless I assumed she brought me here after those two were already gone. Rena was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled warmly. Yet, I felt like I was hallucinating when I saw something akin to a shadow slowly creeping across her face. That small omen sent shivers down my spine. While Rena was still Rena, I needed to make contact. I needed to contact Oishi-san. Rena stopped me when I tried to get out of bed. She said it would aggravate my wounds, so I should sleep. That's the last thing I want. I'd like to go to the bathroom, though.
Sorry.
Rena couldn't say anything else.
Sorry about having an axe and almost killing you.
Yeah, what was that whole part of the act for? What? Okay, sure. I'm gonna try to call Oishi, but whatever. When I approached the front door, the doorbell rang. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, I probably skipped some. Yeah, Rena was stayed in a room. I quickly went downstairs to get the phone and stayed in the living room. Yeah, he's going downstairs. When I approached the front door, the doorbell rang. Ding dong. Now Mion's outside. Hey, Casey, I heard you felt bad, so I made more mochi. Nope, needles this time. Haha.
Unless it's like, hey, K-chan, I came over to finish the job.
It must have been the doctor Rena had called. It was strange for a patient to welcome in the doctor who was making a house call. But it would be incredibly reassuring to have him here for the considerable time it would take Oishi-san to get here. I carelessly opened the door with a simple assumption, and regretted it almost instantly. You didn't, peek outside. Oh my god, it was Mion, by the way. Mion?
Surprise, motherfucker. Oh, you look just fine. I heard you collapsed, so I came to check up on you.
But how did you know I collapsed?
I heard from Reddit over the phone. Also, some weird guy with glasses told me about it. Do I need any reason other than that?
I understood why she would call a doctor. But why Mion too? Rena was descending the stairs behind me.
Rena, doesn't K-chan look pretty alright? Sheesh, you made me worry for nothing.
That's true. Maybe I prayed for nothing as well.
They both began laughing. It appeared to be cheerful laughter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was a darkness looming over them.
Whoa, what's up with the shoe rack? How did it get like this?
The shoe rack that I smashed to pieces had been like that since yesterday. I fell, you see, and the bat I was holding at the time slammed into it. That's one way to say it.
This is what happens when you swing around something you're not used to handling.
I kept the fact that it was none of her business to myself.
But leaving it like this will really startle your parents when they get home. I'll fix it up for you later.
Now, come on, K-chan. The terminally ill need their rest.
What do you mean terminal?
Come. Back in bed.
Both of them urged me up the stairs. I had no chance to call Oishi-san.
It's like they knew.
They definitely knew. This is like a coordinated attack. She was like... she was outside the door all day.
Yeah, she's like, where do you think you're going? Shouldn't you be back in bed?
This was a 4-step plan. Everyone's on it, actually. Satoko was, at another end of the house. It's, ready to, urge Keiichi back to bed. Rika was, also there somewhere.
Happy go, unless she pull a break on you.
Mio had, like, come back from wherever she was, just to, like, also urge him, also somehow. I was
If
pushed
you-
back
if
into my
you
bed.
if you're not a good boy, I'll put the needle back in.
As it was the first time Mion had been in my room, she began searching around it intently. She's looking behind that clock. She flitted around my room, but scolded by Rena. You can imagine how it went. It was uncomfortable having my room poked around, but the conversation was so benign that it was heartwarming. During that innocent conversation, Mion said something as though it was perfectly ordinary.
Rena, did you call the director?
Who the hell is the director?
Yep. Right after I called Mii-chan. He said he'd be right over.
Director? The out-of-place word gave me a bad feeling. Rena called for doctor, then called Mion. And after that, she called a director? Who was this director?
Ryukishi?
He's going to enter the room and kill Keiichi himself. Since Rena and Mion's conversation was so peaceful, I only felt slightly odd. What are you two talking about?
None of your business.
Who's this director?
Didn't you know, Kei-chan? We mean a director when we say director.
Back up.
Look at that face.
What
Protect that smile.
what wrong could she do? Besides, needle.
Exactly.
Oh god, there's two of them.
Oh. Yeah, see, they would never be possessed by Oyashiro-sama and try to kill Keiichi. No, of course not.
No bad intentions whatsoever. It's impossible. I have to think about it.
See, we would never.
Like the director of a movie. Or like a foreman of a construction site.
Oh no. I dug through all of the memories of our director who might have business with me. Only one thing came to mind. Rena had just said, the construction site foreman, the very first victim of the first incident, the dismemberment at the dam construction site. The foreman? But that was strange. He was supposed to be dead. There's no way they could call him. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. Bro, you're next. You're next, dude. You're next on the chopping block. What does that director have to do with me? You said he was coming. Did you mean to my house? That's one obvious question after another. But all the two of them did was smile coolly at each other. There was a huge difference between how the two of them appeared and how my suspicions were playing out. Slowly, I felt discomfort and panic welling up inside me. I couldn't understand what Rena and Mion were talking about.
Hey, Chad, you've gotten into baseball lately, haven't you? Pretty sure the director will be happy to hear that.
So, who was this director?
The director is the director.
So who is this director? It's just so funny. Rena and Mion looked at each other and laughed haughtily. That disturbing cackle unpleasantly resounded around me. To this day, they're laughing. Ew. That laugh, long enough to be unsettling, ended abruptly.
Oh, yeah. We should finish up before the director comes. You remember, don't you, Kei-chan?
No, not the homework! Her face was laughing, but Mion's eyes told a different story. Remember what?
Keiichi-kun, have you forgotten? I wonder? About the penalty. About the penalty! Did you really forget? The homework with the mochi?
Oh my god, you called it!
You were supposed to guess which one Rena made? You forgot about that homework, didn't you?
I certainly did have that homework, but I had thrown away the rest of the mochi after I found that sewing needle, so I wasn't able to answer which one Reno made. The penalty for that? Why now? Why else now? No doubt my question was written all over my face. Their answer to my question was that dry laughter. I could no longer make heads or tails of anything. I began to think that this entire day was somehow insane. Strange. Incomprehensible. Being chased by Rena, attacked by strange men, the penalty Mion and Rena were talking about. You're dead, bro. Wrap it up. Give it up, you're done for. What were these two laughing at? It didn't take that long for me to realize I had been dragged into an abnormal situation. Who were these two? Who were these people? Who were these doppelgangers of Rena and Mion? Rena had gotten behind me at some point. Why was he pinning my arms behind my back? What are you doing?
Don't move. This is your penalty.
Oh.
My body was already very sluggish, and Rena pinning my arms made it that much harder to move. I seriously tried to struggle, but she wouldn't even budge. My panic began to well up, and I realized this was well beyond the realm of jokes and pleasantries. His freakishly monstrous strength. It would have been impossible for the Rena that I knew. Then, these thin, frail arms grasped me firmly. Whose arms were they?
Kei-chan, no struggling. Club rule number. It doesn't matter which one. You can't fight against the penalty.
Mion. No, that thing that looked like Mion spoke to me like how Mion would speak to me. But I was certain that this was not Mion. Someone who wasn't Mion. Someone who was just pretending to be Mion.
Need to finish this up before the director comes.
Mion fished into her pockets and pulled out something bizarre. I could tell what it was just by looking. But for such a thing to be in her pocket, my mind wouldn't accept it. What is that? It was a small syringe. It was a small, clear syringe, the kind a doctor might use if you went to them with a high fever. Rena held me even tighter, and I could hear that clattering laughter no longer. And I could hear that clattering laughter that no longer sounded like laughter blaring into my ear. That eerie laughter. It was just something that the Rena I knew could ever produce from her own throat. This thing that was pretending to be Rena, was that the real laugh? Unable to defend myself, the syringe Mion was holding drew closer, and that needle tip was waved in front of my face countless times.
Don't worry, don't worry. It won't hurt. It won't hurt.
What are you planning on doing? What kind of sick joke is this?
What are you saying, Kei-chan? You know exactly what's going on, don't you?
About what? I don't understand any of this at all.
I know you know. No use playing the fool this late in the game.
Stop talking nonsense to try and confuse me.
You're going to have done to you what happened to Tomitake-san.
What? Oh no, they're giving him your Pico Pico drug. Giving him the drug that makes you kill yourself. Same as Tomitake-san? I didn't really understand what she meant. What did that have to do with the syringe?
You're quite dumb, Keiichi-kun. You should have realized it by now.
Rena whispered into my ear, laughing as if to admonish me. But even the way she spoke was repulsive beyond compare. Playing dumb? Me? About what? What do you mean, the same as Tomitake-san?
Everyone thought at first that it was a hit and run. Except when the officer got closer to check if he was still alive, he soon noticed that it wasn't a normal situation. His throat was scratched out.
From a knife or something?
No. Nails.
Nails? Nails isn't fingernails? With those gouged through? That's right. Tomitake-san. That clawed his own throat out with his own nails and died. There's a way someone could die like that. So then, for that to happen...
We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected.
That's right. Police didn't find any drugs in Tomitake-san's system. The police told me I didn't find any drugs in Tomitake-san's body. Wait. I thought that was him, like, dying. The two of them laughed together with that sickening laughter. Of course they'd laugh. To assume that such a medicine didn't exist just because the police didn't know about it was completely foolish. Meaning, the drug that caused Tomitake-san to die in such a bizarre manner did exist? If Mion injected this into me, then that would probably be all the proof I needed. That would basically mean I'd end up the same as Tomitake-san. Become hysterical, scratching out my own throat in the last moments, then die. For such an outrageous drug to exist. For Mion to be holding it. And that I was about to be injected with it. At that moment, I did not feel there was any need whatsoever to question it. Kind of idiot. When he's trying to dodge a ball flying straight for his face, that's the time to think of a reason his wife's flying at him.
Just to give up. Alright then.
If only you'd just give up and...
And?
I don't have the strength.
That's what I thought.
Mio's actions lacked any gravitas, and that made it even more terrifying. There was none of the ceremony like when someone is sentenced to death. Oh my god.
Great equalizer is death.
There was no hesitation at all, as if she was brushing her teeth. Mio reached out with one hand and grabbed into my chest. It felt like electricity had run through the back of my head and the entire world had gone dark. Did I stand up too fast? Or did someone hit me really hard in the back of my head? Having lost my sense of balance, I was assaulted by a wave of dizziness.
Well, I mean, you did call it. He's dead. He might be cooked.
Yeah, you can imagine the rest.
Rest in peace to our boy Keiichi Maebara.
Oh, never mind, there's just no hints? Or just like the second chapter break? Whatever. Speaking of chapter breaks, I'm gonna take a chapter break. This really is a behemoth of a chapter, I was right. Alright, give me a sec, I'll be back.
This will probably be cut off.
It will. In fact, first I'm going to like focus off of Higurashi as much as possible. In fact, let me be safe. Quick save. There, made it. And Keiichi flow. I'm hooked on that drug that makes you kill yourself. One syringe to the arm every day to make me feel something. Throat's long as Satoshi Hojo's back. Shit smells worse than the dump Rena steals Colonel Sanders figures out of. They tried to demon me away, but I sold my soul long ago. I ain't going nowhere. This shit ain't nothing to me, man.
Okay. That's what he knew, Oyashiro-sama.
I know Oyashiro-sama. Okay. Now for the chapter where Keiichi kills himself gruesomely, I think. Which is terrifying. I squatted down for a bit. When I came to my senses, my entire room had changed drastically. The numbness in my head was gone, and slowly, I could tell blood was flowing into my extremities again. How long had I been squatting here? How many minutes? Or had it been hours? It was almost as if the hands on the clock had stopped moving, and the entire time my eyes were closed. That's a little time passed. Really? The air in the room wasn't filled with that madness from before. Only a dull silence. Rena wasn't there pinning my arms, and Mion wasn't there about to inject me with a needle. No way. Could it be? All of it. Was it hallucination? There was no other presence in the room besides my own. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had. I was certainly with Rena and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but I was also seized with some sort of comfort. I guess that terrible ordeal It was just a hallucination. Neither Rena nor Mion. They would never do something so terrible. My head grew hot. I could tell my emotions were welling up. Why? That wasn't a reason to cry. Why? It was sorrow. Why was I sad? I don't understand. I don't understand. Kind to everyone. Not discriminating against age or gender. Mion. That Mion was sprawled by the window in an unnatural oh shit.
Oh.
The kids you lock in? Blood stained her a deep red from her head down to her chest. Bright crimson smeared on the walls. And the splatter had undoubtedly come from Mion. She always had that bright smile and was kind to me from the day I transferred. Myrna. That same Myrna was slumped at my feet and was making the same pool of blood as Mion. I couldn't comprehend what had happened. Did someone come to save me? Didn't they beat those two down? With this metal bat? I finally noticed a weight in my right hand. How long had it been there? It was Satoshi's metal bat. It was covered in a deep red. There was no doubt that this was the weapon used to mutilate both of them. And I was holding that weapon. I was the only person in the house. Well, looking at this objectively, I couldn't think of anyone other than myself who could have done it. I did this? That's right. Gave to my bar. Of course I did it. I told myself gently, as if coaxing myself. Hey, me. There is no reason for you to remember it, nor is there need to regret it. Eat or be eaten. You get that, don't you? But blood. Blood. There's so much. Neither Renan nor Mion had moved an inch. It wasn't just a split forehead or a trickle of blood. Nothing that simple. The entire room was splattered with red. That told me it didn't end with just 2 or 3 strikes. Are they dead? Are they alive? Both of them? The rest of my mind were calm, but on the surface, I was panicking and agitated. Calm down, Casey Maibara. What happened to your usual calm self? Come on now. Do like you always do. Throw your head back and take a deep breath. Come on. Once. Twice. Breathe deeply. Calm down. Calm down. Chanted over and over in my head and relaxed. Color came back to my vision and smells reinfused the air. At the same time, I remember what happened when I blacked out. Rena and Mion had attacked me. They were about to inject me with whatever caused the same symptoms as Tomatake-san. Right before that happened, I locked in. I fought back. I twisted my whole body and drew Rena as she was pinning my arms. Then I followed through with my spin and ran my foot as hard as I could into Mion's torso. It was soft. Rena tried jumping on me, so I tackled her as hard as I could and slammed her against the wall. I didn't let that brief moment of having them off balance slip by. Satoshi's bat that was left carelessly by the side of my desk.
Oh shit, he actually locked in.
Weep? At that moment, everything went pitch black. There was nothing recorded past this point in the videotape in my mind. No, that wasn't right. It wasn't that there was nothing recorded. It was recorded just fine. Just the other me inside myself. Had told me not to look, and had turned off the TV. Just because the screen had gone to black and I couldn't see it, didn't mean that the videotape within me hadn't recorded it. The TV was just off. The video was still playing. The tape within me, creaking along, still playing. On the other end of that pitch black screen, the horrifying video was still playing on. Compared to this, though, the scene right before my eyes, it was still so difficult to take in. There was blood splattered everywhere on the walls, the 2 of them in these unnatural poses, not a sign of movement from them. I couldn't even tell if they were breathing. No matter what the circumstances were, my friends, these girls, I had attacked them. I may have even killed them. But if I hadn't done this, I would have been the one done for. Balancing that out in an imaginary scale, it felt odd that I even felt bad about it. Even if it was a bit excessive, this was justifiable self-defense. The proof was all here. The 2 of them collapsed here in Mion's syringe. A syringe filled with some unknown drug that would certainly solve the mystery surrounding the incident with Tomotage-san. And from the fact that both of these two were involved, they'd be able to pick the criminals out they'd be able to pick out the criminals one after the other. Still, I might be suspected for this, but that was just fine. Anyway, now this should be a police affair. This wouldn't fade into the darkness like Rina's past incidents. As long as the police are involved, that should bring this to a close. They'll probably revisit their investigation on the chain of incidents. Oishi-san would definitely get to the bottom of it. Meaning, my wish of not wanting to die, of wanting to know the truth, that would be fulfilled in its most basic form. It was all a matter of time now. The Dr. Ren at college should be getting here soon. I'll confess everything to him. I needed to contact Oishi-san. At that moment, I remembered. Besides the doctor, a director had been called. It was easy to imagine that there was someone deeply involved with the incidents, judging from Rena and Mion's conversation. The ache in my chest, caused by the gruesome deed I'd done, dissipated rapidly. It was not over yet. This place was no longer safe. Stay calm, Casey Maibara. It's not over yet. I needed to live long enough to tell the police of this incident. At that moment, I felt like I heard someone's voice from outside. Since people were speaking, it must mean that there was more than one person. I moved the curtain ever so slightly and peered outside. It was a bizarre sight. About 4 or 5 grown men were all gathered at the gate. They very much resembled the 2 men who had assaulted me at the dam site today. Those 2 might even be among them. There was one person there wearing a white coat, but he didn't look like a doctor at all. My gut told me he was in disguise, only posing as a doctor. That guy would probably ring the bell and get me to open the front door. Pretend to be a doctor to get me to open the door, and the rest of them would all rush in at once. At that moment, I saw the car parked behind the men, and my heart nearly skipped a beat. The white van! Oh my god, the conspiracy.
Yeah, they're all in it.
They're at my door, they're at my door, they're at my door. No mistaking it. That van, the one that had tried to run me down. The man in the white coat entered the gate and headed towards the front door. The rest of the men hid in the bushes and watched him. I probably couldn't pretend that I wasn't home. Undoubtedly, they'd just break the window and enter. I need to get out of here somehow. Then, use the public phone to contact Oishi-san. Then, meet up somewhere. First of all, I need a weapon. Then shoes. Before all that, there was one thing I had to do. I had no intention of dying. I had to live and reveal the truth about this nonsensical curse of Oyashiro-sama. But what would happen from here on, regardless of how determined it was, may bring about my demise. And that was why. There was one thing more important than getting out of here right now. I need to get that clock out quickly and take down a note hidden behind it. Damn it! The tip was taken to it fast. It would be fine if it was torn a little. I opened up the slightly torn note and began writing another passage with a ballpoint pen. I wasn't able to inform Oishi-san. The only thing I could rely on was this note. I'd never thought a piece of torn college-wood notebook paper could be this reliable before. I had no time. I could only write what I knew right now. I needed to leave some sort of information that would lead them to uncover the truth. Rena and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. This was an undeniable fact. I still didn't want to believe it. But it was a fact! Anyway, I lead off the information that would help lead them to find the perpetrators. There are 4 or 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This was everything I was able to see from the window. There may be more. Also, there was that unidentified person known as the director. To begin with, the term director didn't even mess with Hinamizawa at all. If they were going to include the directors from past incidents, then the only one is the construction foreman, the victim of the first murder. The very first victim in a chain of incidents. Killed in the lynching, his body divided into 6 pieces. His right arm was never discovered. The police should have confirmed that death. But Rena and Mion didn't call them. Rena and Mion did both call him director. He said director. They wouldn't use that term to refer to someone who was dead. The police would never even conceive that someone who was deceased could be involved. Could that be some sort of oversight? I didn't know, but even if I did know, it could be a big hint for Oishi-san. That's right. They needed to start fresh on our first incident. It wasn't just a simple dismemberment, but the start of this string of mysterious deaths that would follow. So then, there must be something hidden there. Please reinvestigate the victim from the dismemberment incident. He's alive. His death should have been established after an autopsy. Logically, you would think as much. But was that really the case? Could it have been some sort of ploy that they were able to deceive the police with? I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but he may still be alive. I had no time to ponder that right now. Oh, yeah. There's something even more important you need to write. Tomotage-san's death was from an unknown drug. That's right, that drug. It was an irreplaceable piece of evidence, no doubt. Because by having this, everything would be uncovered. I couldn't just leave that vital clue lying on the floor. This syringe is proof. Writing that down, I stuck the syringe to the back of the clock with plenty of tape. So it absolutely would not slip out and fall to the floor. Firmly. Firmly!
Uh-oh.
The bell rang. They were here. I couldn't write any more. Even still, there was one last thing I had to write. I have no idea why it has become like this. This may be the closest thing to the truth out of everything I wrote in this note. If you are reading this, then I'm probably already dead, though you may or may not find my body. I was going to write out everything that would happen. Either dying from this curse, or being demoned away. You, who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. With this, my last will and testament was complete. I wasn't certain that I was going to die, but this was my final plea, just in case. I folded the note, tucked it back to the back of the clock, and returned the clock back to its usual slot. Couldn't help but pray. Oyashiro-sama, if something happens to me, I'll leave the rest to you. After that, I gazed down silently at Rena and Mion. This was probably the last time I'd ever see each other. Rena, Mion, I really had thought all of us were friends. But why did it end up like this? I never had any fun in my previous school. I only worried about the standardized test scores. About the school I hoped to get into was where I really wanted to go for a safety net. That was all I talked about. It was a dull life. The people I called friend were also my rivals in studying, in competitions, in personal records, and standardized test scores. Everyone here taught me how unhealthy that lifestyle was. This month was really fun. Making a fuss over lunch, making a fuss over the club, making a fuss over the festival. Something's hot began dripping down from my face. Uncontrollable. Tears. I should have no obligation to shed tears for them. But they wouldn't stop. Even if they were after my life. Even if they were trying to kill me. Even everything that happened this month, I wouldn't forget it. Or could it be those happy days, well, a facade as well? Was it all a trap that meticulously orchestrated up until today to ensnare me? Could it have been that I had just arbitrarily assumed they were my friends? That couldn't have been the case. Both Rena and Mion, they were really my friends. Those happy days, there was nothing fake or unclear about them. Someone probably forced them to try to kill me. Or their minds were taken over, possessed by the supernatural entity known as Oyashiro-sama. Regardless, both Rena and Mion, they were the best friends ever. And when they were coming after me, it wasn't of their own volition. But they weren't the kind of people to sell off their friends, no matter what means they were employed to force them. And there was no way such a thing as being possessed by Oyashiro-sama could happen in reality. Then did the real Rena and Mion come after me? What was I thinking? What a silly dumb idea. I've been beating down both Rena and Mion. I was still debating if they were the real ones or fakes. There was no real or fake, only the reality that was before me. Rena and Mion were sprawled at my feet. That was the only truth. I was only trying to twist the facts to my benefit. I had beaten my friends to death. No matter how I spun it, it wouldn't change reality. Rena and Mion were both dead. I felt like there was a crack in the dam of strange emotions I was holding back. I felt like my calm state, which was nothing more than a bluff, had receded, and in that opening, insanity was leaking out. I killed them. Rena and Mion. I killed them! The doorbell rang again. Our unrelenting echo pulled me back into a state of composure once again. I didn't have a moment to spare. Quickly, I needed to get away. I didn't want to die. I would uncover everything after that. The identity of whoever or whatever had pushed me this far. Even if I had to drink mud and eat grass, I would survive. I would survive. I would definitely survive. I killed Rena for that very reason. I also killed Mion. I went that far just to keep living, so I can't die. For my sake, and for the sake of the late Rena and Mion. I have to survive! I ran towards the door and grabbed my shoes. The doorbell rang again as if to urge me on. Behind a single solitary door, they were there! Keeping quiet, I headed towards the kitchen. Headed towards the back door. Before opening the back door, I put my ear to it and checked for people outside. No one? After I put on my shoes, I opened the door slowly so as to not make a sound.
There he is! The back door!
A piercing voice echoed out. That voice stabbed through me. setting my hair on end. I have to run! Get out of here, Katie! One after the other, I felt stuff like rationale and intelligence, those things to use when you have time to spare, spill out of me. I didn't feel any pain from the branches scratching my arms and forehead. My autonomously pulsing heart also felt neither fatigue nor pain. My entire being just wished to live. There was nothing else it desired. I probably had no complaints whatsoever. So of course, I wouldn't feel fatigue. I just ran. Just recklessly rushing in the direction I was already heading. Even if nobody was chasing after me, I'd still be running like hell. I'd still be running like this. There wasn't a thought in my mind about where I was headed. Turning around, I felt a presence right next to me. That presence was, without a doubt, chasing me like my shadow. If I took one misstep, I would be devoured. That's what I thought. So I didn't turn around. I didn't stop. I ran. At full speed.
This is just a hit and run.
Quack, 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 quack. It was like the chirping of the Higurashi telling me it was evening. Trying to tell me something, and then I finally heard it. The wailing cry of the victims who didn't make it. Would I be joining them? Quack, 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 quack. Only the Higurashi knew. They knew everything. They definitely knew. So, I ran towards where I could hear more of the Higurashi's chirps. But the further I ran, the farther away their chirping became. I couldn't get near them. Why are you all running away? Was it my fault? Was I the one to blame? Then I'll apologize. I'm sorry. Dude, you're cursing yourself even more, dude. I'm sorry. 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 I felt that only the Higurashi knew.
Well, never mind. I guess he killed them.
Yeah. Smoking room was filled with a cloud of cigarette smoke. The expensive smoke filter gave off some crackling electric noise, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything at all. Why do smokers have to be shoved so far down this corridor where the sun didn't even reach? I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from tobacco was about a tenth of the municipality 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 municipality. Okay. I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from
We'll get it eventually.
True. I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from tobacco was about a tenth of the I thought I had it. Municipality. I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from tobacco was about a tenth of the Okay.
Municipality. Municipality.
Municipality. That makes sense. Okay. I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from tobacco was about a tenth of the municipality's revenue.
There we go.
We were the most heavily taxed members of this I wasn't expecting to face with the word twice.
It just came back.
Municipality. So, I really wish they'd show us a little more respect. Who the hell are you?
Why would you discard the 5 manzu there? It's just decreasing your options.
Oh, is this Oishi POV? I think it is.
Could be.
I think we're back to agency. Let's go for Oishi POV.
Yep. One of the younger detectives was having a staring contest with the Mahjong magazine called Next Turn of the Golden Age. You're still in Tenpai if you cut the 5 manzu. If you're betting on the Haite, then shouldn't you be going into it with a mangan? Kuma-chan, look at the pond. They all discarded a 5-manzu. It's a safe tile. You'd hate if, at endgame, someone was sitting on a tenpai at the last turn, wouldn't you? The kid let out another groan, put out his cigarette, then took out another one. I just don't agree. Why would you reduce your own options? By the way, you can't call run with your winning tile in that Haite. What? Why is that?
Keiichi's running for his life, and this is the Uishi side quest.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Maybara-san. I am in the middle of a side quest right now. I can't come save your ass.
I'm handling serious business, boy.
Serious business, huh? I'm running for my life over here.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's like you're just gonna sit there and do nothing? Well, that would imply that you did do something. Such help you are. Just then, I heard a voice coming from down the hall.
Are you here, Uishi-san? You have a call from a civilian.
Whoa, ain't that something? Well, see you soon. What? Why can't you call Ron on it? Hold on for a second, Oishi-san. The man's sitting in the
Oh wait,
seat.
the man saying the Uishi. Fucking. Now we're back to Keiichi POV, whatever. The man saying the seat Uishi-san was heading towards waved at the telephone receiver.
Outside line, from a payphone.
どうもすいません。
Oh, why, thank
お
you.
待たせしました。
Sorry to keep you waiting.
大石です。
This is Oishi.
もしもし。
Who is it?
You know who it is! Ah, Uishi-san! Hello?
前原さんじゃありませんか。
If it isn't Maybara-san.
どうもどうも。
Why, good
こんに
evening.
ちは。
From the tone of Maybara-kun's voice, I already knew he was in a predicament. This was the first time Maybara-kun had phoned me. And he was calling from a payphone?
落ち着いてください。
Please calm
何
down.
がありました。
Something happened?
Well,
His voice was erratic over the line. He had completely lost his sense of composure. After checking that nobody else could hear, I prompted him in a hushed tone.
何があったんです。
What happened?
落ち着いて前原さん。
Calm down, Maybara-san.
今そこに。
I can help the local officers head to your location.
私もすぐそっちに
I'll
行き
be
ます。
there soon, too.
I think that's impossible.
His voice was quivering and hoarse. He wasn't surrounded by people even as he was making this call, was he?
前原さんは今、公衆電話からかけてますよ
Maybara-san,
ね。
you're calling from a payphone right now, right?
どこの公衆電話ですか。
Where is that payphone? There were no other sounds besides Maybara-kun's voice. It had to be a phone booth. I scratched out a note and thrust it at my colleague sitting across from me. Hinamizawa, phone booth. He understood quickly and hastily started on the internal lines.
落ち着いて前原さん。
Calm down, Maybara-san.
今どういう状況なん
What
です
is your current situation? It was best practice to avoid flustering someone panicking, but this was an urgent case. Maybara-kun didn't just get in trouble, get away, and then call me. He was in the midst of something dangerous right now. But yelling at Maybara-kun right now would just needlessly cause him to be even more frantic. Maybara-kun wasn't just calling to seek help. He was trying to tell us something more than that. And whatever that was, if I didn't get it from this call, I was certain there would never be another chance. My colleague pushed a note in front of me. There's only one booth in Hinamizawa. A patrol car is on the way.
That car better be speeding.
5 minutes. That's too long. How many officers are in there? 2.
That's not enough unless they have guns.
Not enough. If it was as I imagined, there were likely quite a few people surrounding my Raccoon. 5 minutes was too long. Did you call the officer stationed in Hinamizawa?
They're all mysteriously busy.
He's scheduled to be on patrol. They're currently out, and it'll be impossible to contact them. God damn! Kuma-chan, bring the car around! Understood!
Hello? Oyashiro-san!
Hello? Hello? It's alright. I can hear you loud and clear. There was something wrong with my Raccoon. That wasn't a normal coughing sound. Vomiting? Or was it blood? Had he already been attacked? Was he injured? Maibara-san, the police are on their way. They'll be there in a couple of minutes, so hold on somehow. Hello? Can you hear me? Maibara-san? I could hear on the other end of the line that he was having a coughing fit. The worst possible situation popped into my head. Maibara-san! Who is the culprit? How many are there?
I thought at first the culprit was human.
I couldn't tell if that was a cough or vomiting. Are you alright, Maibara-san?
Not that. The culprit was a person, and not Oyashiro-sama's curse. Up until right now. But I guess in the end,
it was an intense bout of coughing, then vomiting.
Guess Oyashiro-sama does exist. No, he's here.
Maibara-san, please, just please calm down.
I've been thinking they've changed for a while now. He's been following me this whole time. I run and run and run and run, but he just sticks to me like my shadow. But slowly, so slowly, sticking himself into my back.
Maibara-san, are they right now? Perhaps right behind you? Is this Oyashiro-sama with us right now?
Behind me, right behind me. He's right behind me, isn't he?
Please, Maibara-san. I can tell you're scared, but please, who is it that's right behind you?
Can't just look behind me. If I do, ow, ow.
I understand that you're scared, but please tell me. You just need to turn around a bit. Who is it? Who is behind you, Maibara-san? Right after I said that, I could hear him vomiting intensely. What followed was a nightmarish sound. Maibara-san. It couldn't be that you're clawing out your own throat. Wait, what?
Yeah, they got him. They stuck him. They gave him the Pico virus. The fucking. They gave him the disease. They gave him the fucking, what is it? No, the opposite of disease. They inject him. They gave him the drug to make him kill himself.
What? Huh? What?
He's on it.
Huh? What? I thought...
He's on it. They got him.
There was no answer. But I could hear something like scratching. There was a bang, as if something was being hit. My Raccoon had probably dropped the receiver. I could hear groaning and vomiting over on the other end, and a repeating, abnormal noise. Hello? Hello? My person? Hello? I knew how far away my voice would sound on the other end, but I couldn't help but shout and let it all out. At that moment, I heard whispering coming from the other end. I couldn't tell what he was saying. From the way he was saying it, was he talking to himself? Or was he talking to someone there?
His ass better not be apologizing.
Hello? Maibara-san? Rather than whispering,
Oh no.
it was some kind of mantra he was chanting over and over. I focused my senses, trying to pick up what he was saying. What was he repeating? What exactly? Beep! Suddenly, the line went dead. Did he use up his time? It was because it was a payphone? Ah! It was because it cut out so abruptly. The last thing he said came out so clearly in my mind. Oishi-san! The car is good to go! Oishi-san! It was...
Oh!
I'm sorry.
Oh, he was apologizing! Oyashiro got him.
Oh shit. Moral of the story, don't fuck with Oyashiro-sama. Would it be funny if somehow Retta and Beyond somehow just faked their doubts and then just fucking jammed that syringe onto Keiichi?
It just came back. I don't know. I don't think you can fake something like that.
I mean, that's probably true. I mean, they'll probably come up with some bullshit. Oishi-san. That's what he was repeating over and over. He said, I'm sorry. I had a gut feeling. There was no longer a need to hurry. I could hear the chirp of the Higurashi spilling in from the open window. Quee, 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 quee. I should have been able to hear them this entire time. I just wasn't paying any attention. Why did I focus on them all of a sudden? Quee, 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 quee. Were they trying to tell me something? Only the Higurashi knew. That's how I felt. June 1983. In Hinamizawa, a remote village near Shishibone City, there was a murder involving 2 female students. The suspect is Keiichi Maibara, aged 1X.
Nondescript.
The suspect called over his 2 female classmates, Rena Ryugu, Mion Sonozaki, to his house, and beat them to death with a metal bat.
It's insane how, how easy the truth can just be, like, chased and manipulated.
It's almost as if it's like Umineko. The scene of the crime was the suspect's room on the 2nd floor of his house. The inside of the room was covered with a significant quantity of splattered blood, and there were signs of a struggle with the victims. In addition to the scene of the crime, the entryway, living room, and kitchen all had traces of a struggle. At the entryway, the shoe rack and wall had evidence of being impacted by strong blunt force. It is believed to have been the same bat as the murder weapon. Having no traces of blood, it is believed the destruction occurred before the murders.
That's his window. That's his window.
Yep. There is the possibility that the suspect overpowered his victims to keep them from fleeing. In the living room, the rug had been pulled back, then thrown aside. It is hard to believe that this had a connection to the struggle with the victims, and thus the reason for this remains unknown. In the kitchen, the garbage bag was torn apart, and its contents were spread out on the floor.
Oh, okay, yes. Him looking for the needle.
Garbage was strewn out in the surrounding area, and handprints believed to belong to the suspect were discovered. It is believed that the suspect had, for some reason, taken out the garbage and struck it with his fists.
Some unknown reason. We'll never know.
Hey, exactly. The reason for this remains unknown.
Who knows?
In addition, there was a note stuck to the fridge. The words, "Was there a needle?" were written on it. The meaning behind this remains unclear.
Keiichi vague posting in like the worst of moments. It just makes him seem insane after he dies.
I mean, that's the curse for you.
The curse of Oyashiro-sama.
The meaning behind this remains unclear. Just in case, the garbage was searched, but a needle was not discovered, to the
God damn
surprise
it.
of absolutely nobody.
It didn't matter.
It did not matter. The garage door was functional. Though the garage door was functional, it had been left open ever since the suspect moved in. The garage door was found closed. The suspect's fingerprints were discovered on the garage door. The reason behind this remains unknown. The suspect fled the scene of the crime. However, a patrolling officer, Hinamizawa local PD, found the suspect collapsed inside a phone booth. At the time of discovery, the suspect was unconscious in critical condition. He was rushed to the local hospital for treatment, but did not regain consciousness and died 24 hours later. The results of the autopsy indicate the immediate cause of death to have been hypovolemic shock. It was determined that the suspect had clawed at his own throat with his fingernails, and the resulting bleeding caused his death. Yep, it's that drug again.
Yep.
With the similarity to the death of Tomatake-san the prior week, the police believed there to be a connection and have opened an investigation. However, due to the wishes of the local authorities, it will be a confidential investigation.
I wonder why.
Due to the abnormal nature of the death, it was suspected that drugs were involved, but as with Tomatake-san, no traces were discovered.
Yeah, they're never gonna look behind that clock.
What prompted all of this remains inexplicable. As such, this case is being treated as an act committed on impulse. However, with several amounts of the suspect's bizarre behavior leading up to the incident, it is possible that this was premeditated.
Seeing all this from Keiichi's perspective, and it's like having the outsider's perspective of Keiichi's actions thrust onto us. Like, oh yeah, I guess he did seem really suspicious. Someone like looked out the window and saw him like holding Neon up in the air. Like, yeah, that was pretty weird. That guy's probably likely to kill him.
I mean, then again, considering Keiichi was pretty angry at Rena, who's to say that the curse already got him?
Yeah. It was following him the second he moved in. The second he moved in.
Separated from his group of friends, isolation. It's inexplicable behavior. Several days before the incident, the suspect began carrying around a metal bat. The suspect was observed displaying aggressive behavior as well as talking to himself at school. I'm just imagining Keiichi seeing this. It's like, who wrote this? It's like who wrote all this? I didn't do this.
Well, that's the thing. He did do all this, but like for the right reasons. There's no
I was justified.
They're vague posting as much as Keiichi is.
His classmates have actually heard portions of what he was saying. I met this weird suspect. He says something about having this weird metal bat, and I don't know. I'm just Satoko. Okay, I totally don't do the pranks. 2 days before the incident, the suspect declared to his parents the possibility of his death. Due to these circumstances, the police have begun an investigation of the possibility that this crime was not committed on impulse, but was planned several days in advance.
Oh.
Afterwards, a note was found in the suspect's room that he had written himself. The note was written on 2 sheets from a B5 college-ruled notebook that had each been torn in half, and as if it was trying to conceal it. It was hidden behind a clock on the wall. The contents are as written in the appendix. The police believe it to be strongly related to the incident.
You don't say.
The police changed their line of investigation based on the possibility that the suspect was involved in some sort of incident himself. However, no further clues were found, casting doubt on the credibility of the note.
They snatched that drug from the note immediately.
Was the crime impulsive or premeditated? With the situation unclear and no further developments, the case has been labeled as unresolved.
Tough.
See, what you're saying is the case was closed? Are you kidding me? I died for nothing? However, the following year, suspicion arose regarding the nature of the note. The note was not written on 2 halves of B5 paper from 2 separate sheets, but was originally a single sheet of B5 paper.
They snatched the part where he talks about the needle out. They snatched it.
In order to erase several lines from the middle, someone had torn them out. Judging from the size of the letters, the missing section is estimated to be 2 to 3 lines.
Yeah, it's taking that much to talk about the needle.
It is highly probable that the person who eliminated the lines in question is not the suspect. In addition, judging from traces of large quantities of cellophane tape being stuck to the back of the clock, speculation that something other than the note was stuck there has arisen.
Oh my god.
The person who first discovered the crime was a detective rumored to have a connection with the incident, Kurado Oishi.
What?
Kurado Oishi. He underwent voluntary questioning, but denies involvement in any damages to the note. The suspect's note.
I, Casey Maibara, am in fear for my life. I do not know why they're after my life. The only thing I do know is that it has to do with Oyashiro-sama's curse. Rena and Mion are conspirators of the perpetrators. There are 4 or 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van.
This is all in the first sheet. The section below this has been ripped out. This is from the second sheet. The section above this has been ripped out.
I have no idea why it has become like this. If you are reading this, then I am probably already dead. Though you may or may not find my body. You, who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. Casey Maibara.
Set it on fire.
Epic Steam note popping up. Yay! A new section from launch. All cast review section become available. All cast review section. Ooh, sounds fun. Alright, we did it.
Hooray!
Finally,
Chapter 1.
Higu 1 done. It's taken me like almost a full year to do this.
And that concludes the first chapter of Higurashi no Nakukoroni.
Not really. There's like some fun bonus apparently.
Oh.
What's that one game? I can't find it. I can't find it. I was looking for it. I can't find it. There it is. Okay. Check the Glorp Surfer.
Alright. Reva Glorp?
No, look what I just sent.
Uh...
I need to turn Steam Notice off. Except I don't, they're funny. I like when we're reading I like when we're reading the first chapter of Higurashi and like a character from like 6 chapters later pops up playing Slay Spire 2 or something. Okay. Oh, cast review session. What is this?
What did Ryukishi mean by this?
Thank you for buying Higurashi When They Cry, Onikakushi, a visual novel by 07th expansion.
Parallels, dude.
Congratulations on reading Umineko.
Thanks for reading Umineko no Naku Kuro ni. Man, I had no idea what happened.
Thank you, Rena. Very cool.
How was it? If you enjoyed it, even a little bit, then they'd be happy. Can you buy the rest for like $5 each now and the bonus episodes?
Even a little bit is stretching it. That incredibly dark ending made me angry, you know. Themes and such.
Made us angry. I too am in this episode. As I understand it, this Onikakushi chapter is supposed to be somewhat of a prologue to the entire series.
How could the prologue have such an incredibly dark ending? Yeah, but doesn't that happen sometimes? The player digging through the story in order to avoid a bad ending is the point of these types of games, after all.
It's still just the first chapter. I'm looking forward to the next one.
And the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. What happens in the next chapter? Rena, do you know?
Yeah, they said the next chapter will introduce another aspect of the story.
That's a strange way of putting it. What does that mean?
In this chapter, they introduced a string of mysterious deaths that were happening in Himazava recently, right? The next chapter introduced some of the history of Himazava.
With one strange event happening after another, I got totally lost. What exactly is Oyashiro-sama's curse about? Actually, what is Oyashiro-sama to begin with? They didn't explain it much.
I haven't heard much about it.
This coming from you is crazy.
Yeah, we totally were not responsible, by the way.
But I have a kind of bad feeling about it. It feels like it'll be another one of those scary stories where somebody gets cursed again.
Tough luck for Kei-chan. What kind of curse is he gonna get hit with this time? However, I am looking forward to see what kind of story it's going to be. Sorry for being late. My bad, my bad. Hey everybody.
He's also in this episode.
Good work today. I am somehow not dead. Same to you. Huh? Where's Kei-chan? Keiichi-kun is already off reading the script for the next chapter. Amazing. Thank you, Ryukishi. It must be hard being the main character.
Ain't it?
Peek. Peek.
Why is Mion
Yes,
taller than him?
Themes and such.
She's like on a stool.
Boop boop.
Okay.
Huh? That's too bad. You could have at least poked in to say hello.
I'm supposed to be dead.
It's probably because he doesn't have any character art, so he couldn't poke his head in even if he wanted to.
Yes, thank you, Rena. I was going.
Little shit.
Yes, thank you, Rika. Rather, oh my god, I'm getting my R's mixed up. Thank you, Rika. I was going to make that joke, but I guess you get to make it first.
Like, Rika, you little shit. Rika-san, that's what we referred to. That's what we referred to as a personal problem.
He said it's a skill issue.
That sounds like a skill issue to me, Nika. In any case, that story really was a lot of trouble, especially for Keiichi-kun and Rena-chan. Trouble? That was the mother of all bad eggs!
I wonder, what was the identity of the thing that attacked Keiichi-kun?
That's that that end was very harrowing. Having Keiichi's death being from the perspective of Oishi instead of him. that was good. That was a good way to do that. That was a good way to go about that.
My theory is that it was the work of people made to look like a curse.
But Keiichi made that mysterious phone call at his demise.
Yeah. I also thought that call was strange. At that point, Keiichi should have been certain that the culprits were people. That really was a strange phone call. It almost sounded like he was being chased by a ghost or something.
Just from that phone call, it really makes you think that it was the work of a curse after all.
This level of cursing was possible for Furuto Erika. What do you think, everyone?
Fuck!
Since we're all here, why don't we all share our theories? Let's start with Sonozaki-san. I absolutely believe it was people.
Yeah, it would be
Wink,
easy
wink.
for you to believe that, you know, people.
I think it was a man-made incident that was just imitating the strange folklore floating around Hinamizawa, ignoring the fact that I am in this visual novel.
Certainly. Every year, on the day of the festival, for another link in the chain of mysterious stuff to happen certainly is suspicious.
That so-called chain of mysterious death. It has to be somebody's trying to reenact the folklore. Definitely. I think it was the curse. Looking at the scene where Keiichi-san went berserk in the entryway, and the last scene with the phone call, those cannot be explained with a human culprit. Right, Bird?
Huh? When you say it that way, it really wasn't the type of scene that would make you think it was the work of an actual person.
Yeah, but even then, I still think it was a person who did it. That last scene, the one with the entryway, I think that the stress might have driven him into paranoid delusions.
And the drugs, you know, the drug that makes you tear your throat out, it could probably also make you believe that Oyashiro-sama is real. I'm on the shit that makes you believe Oyashiro-sama exists. I'm tearing my own throat out.
You weren't helping me to understand by using such complicated words.
Sumari, Keiichi was so scared that he was imagining things.
What was the meaning behind that scene? What exactly was the mysterious presence behind Keiichi? A red herring. REDHERRING. SUPERPAPER.
Mii-chan, what do you mean by a red herring?
Like old man Tobataki here said, that scene was the result of Kei-chan having a stress-induced delusion from being mentally cornered. The overly graphic depiction was a ploy to make the player think it was a curse. That's why it was a red herring. Like the card.
We just see it like that. But...
Well, it just means that there's that possibility.
In that case, Data Oishi-san proposed during his story that it was a conspiracy by the villagers was correct? What does the man himself have to say about that?
Ryukishi? It makes you think, eh?
To this very day, he's fake posting.
Also, I think it's really funny that that they're all doing this and there's actual people in the fucking picture.
Yeah, they're just like they're at Hooters after reciting the play. Oishi took them there.
I'm just imagining just Oishi taking Keiichi to Hooters, and Rena and Leon were just they secretly followed them, and they just had the fucking Oyashiro-sama eyes just watching Keiichi the entire time while Keiichi's just surrounded by women.
He's that one screenshot, that one Simpson screenshot, the one I can't describe it. I'm a LARPer, but that one.
I'll have to see it eventually.
The dude surrounded by women is just like not wanting to be there, and also Rena and Mion are there.
Yes. I totally thought that Oishi-san would be behind the people explanation. During the story, I said it was definitely the work of people, but if a person really was to blame, that leaves a lot of loose ends.
Like what? Let's hear what Detective Oishi-san's theory is.
First of all, if a human is the culprit, then there has to be a motive. In other words, somebody has to gain something from it. So what you mean is, if this was the work of people, there would have to be something gained from causing the chain of mysterious deaths. Exactly. I felt that somebody could have benefited from the deaths of people related to the dam development, but the recent victims weren't related to that at all. First off, who benefits from killing Maibara-san? I see. If you say it like that, my case is kind of weak too.
I mean, none of your money was stolen. There's no way it was human culprits. It was the work of a witch.
But that's not everything there is to it, right? Like Mii-chan just said, there might have been some sort of reason for them to reenact the folklore.
Exactly. This wasn't a murder when you consider the typical motives. It makes me think that this was most likely some sort of ritualistic murder to reenact the blood-stained history of the village.
So I'll ask the question of the hour. Who gains from this reenactment?
I don't know, Rika, what do you think?
Not me.
It's not about simple benefit. It's a more psychological reason. I think that maybe this was an act of revenge. Something native to the region. Some connection not touched on this time around. I see. A member of some repressed family looking to air out an old grudge of their ancestors. Something like that? I don't like that. Then what is it? It couldn't be that you're leading towards the curse explanation, Oishi-san?
It's right, it's right. The man playing the detective said so. It's decided it was a curse.
If, as Maibara said during the story, it was the case that Oyashiro-sama possessed Ryugu-san and Sonozaki-san and committed those acts, that would fit the evidence the most. As much as I hate to say it.
Actually, I meant to see the painting as Oishi-san, duh. I can't come up with any other explanation for the normally kind Rena and Mi-chan to suddenly start acting strange like that.
About that, it may sound strange coming from the person herself, but I think that Mion did it. Best girl, did it.
I don't get what Mi is saying. I'd like an explanation.
Oh, sorry. In other words, I think this may end up being a really cruel story. Yeah, no fucking shit. It's when they cry. Of course it's gonna be depressing. And funny. And peak.
You heard right now. Now I can. There. I had to urgently walk my dog and also urgently make dinner. That wasn't urgent, I just felt like doing it then. Let's end this. This has been a long 1 chapter plus bonus. Or has it been? I've only been recording for an hour and 30. That can't be true. Is it? Or I restart recording. I think I restart recording. Yep, that's a 1 gigabyte file, and this is the file being made right now. Alright. Hi.
Yes.
Alright, let's continue. Wait, yeah, I turned my mic back on. Cool.
Huh? Wait, Mi-chan? You don't mean...
Taking the human culprit theory to its logical conclusion, that's how it would seem. I also have my suspicions. In other words, Ryugu-san and Sonozaki-san both actually had those personalities to begin with. They were merely deceiving Maibara-san. Am I right?
I don't like that at all.
Or
She just-
Satoko.
Yeah, she just broke out into tears like Hyoka Saihanji energy.
Yeah.
This is all the Kuroshi's fault. Rena-san and Mion-san and everybody else are all kind, nice people.
I think that too. I think that Red and Mi-chan are really good people at heart. I think that during the story, they must have been possessed by something.
So Rena thinks it was a curse. Then let me ask everybody who thinks it was a curse. There has to be a reason for a curse, right? It doesn't make sense for a curse to just indiscriminately befall someone. Can somebody explain that?
A curse is a curse. Human logic won't get us anywhere.
Satoko-chan. A personified deity is, in the end, nothing more than the creation of people. That's why their method of thinking is also understandable to humans. Just take a look at the Greek pantheon. They cry. When they cry, get angry, get jealous. Basically, they're just like humans.
So what you're saying is that Oyashiro-sama is cursing people with some benefit in mind?
That's an odd way of putting it, but basically, yes. That's why they say, far from Jupiter, far from his thunder. You do have a point.
Basically, it doesn't matter if it's Oyashiro-sama or humans. There has to be a reason.
But we care. What if that reason isn't clear?
I don't know.
Of course you don't know.
That's right. This is still just a prologue. There's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah. It's hard to come up with any more theories at this point. No! I won't be satisfied until this is all made clear.
Your side is very particular about this.
We'll just make the best with what we know. Doesn't this feel interesting? Like the club a little bit?
Yeah. If you put it that way, it does seem interesting.
Well then, let's summarize. Let's see. I think it was a curse. Tomitake-kun thinks it was people, right? Yeah, I'll go with it being people. I also agree with the people explanation. That's not to say I hate such fantastic things like curses. But in this particular case, the connection to a curse is a little weak. 2 for the people explanation. Ryugu-san was on the curse side of things, right?
Yep. Satoko-chan, I believe it was a curse. Right?
Yeah, I think it was a curse. People who say that Rena-san and Mion-san are evil to begin with are more benefiting of a curse.
Well, I don't want to believe that my own personality was that twisted. But I have to keep a cool head when I'm in club mode. If I base my choice on just emotion, I'll regret it, you know. Well then, it doesn't really matter which side you pick, does it?
Huh? Rika-chan hasn't said anything yet. What do you think? I'm neutral about this.
Of course you are.
I don't think Oyashiro-sama is a bad god.
Huh? That's an interesting opinion.
I don't want to worship some bad god that just curses people. I'd like a generous god more than one that curses. That's right! Rika-chan is a stride maiden! Yep, good opinion.
Rika-chan is gonna solve all the incidents. Then what? If Rika-chan doesn't believe that it was Oyashiro-sama, then do you think the perpetrators were human after all?
That one Daft Punk song.
We'll just go with that thing.
Thanks, Rika. Well now, that means the votes are split right down the middle. Split the room. So half of us think it was a curse, and half of us think it was people? Rena-chan, just for preference, what did the test players who played the beta version think?
Yeah. There were a lot more players who believed in the people explanation.
See? See? Right there. Our veteran comrades are cool, collected, and very observant.
But the beta version only finished partway through the story. That's right! Even the people who played the beta might change their minds if they got through to the very end.
What should we do then? This means the opinions are still split. It's no fun if we don't settle this. We need there to be an odd number of judges. In other words, we need one more opinion.
Ah, perfect timing then. Why don't we ask KT-kun himself? Let's call him.
I'm still dead!
The opinion of the victim himself is very valuable.
Since that's decided, it's time for the phone. Hello, KT-kun.
Oh, hello KT-kun. It's Rena. Are you busy with work right now?
Yeah, really busy. Just when I thought I'd get a break because the chapter's over. It's already time for the next one.
How's K-chan?
If only the denizens of Zakonia could say that about right now.
Busy?
Yeah. He's moping in season.
I can hear you, you know. It must be nice having a wrap-up party. I'd like to go too.
You can come if you get some character art for yourself.
God damn it, Rika.
You can come if you get some
Oh, wait, no. That was already said.
We can't, it's a secret.
Sorry about the Keiji-kun. Anyways, during the current chapter, Keiji-kun, didn't you die?
Didn't you?
That's why I'm not coming!
We were just talking about who the culprit might be.
Basically, we're deadlocked, not the game, on whatever it was people or Oyashiro-sama's curse that killed you.
I'm really sorry, even though you're busy reading the script. Keiji-kun, who do you think it was?
That's obvious, isn't it?
Which?
Isn't it both of them? Targeted by suspicious people from the village, and then cursed by some strange Oyashiro-sama on top of that. Both humans and a curse. Everybody's just picking on me.
So very, very pitiful. Next time, I'll give you a good patting on the head.
How nice of her.
Everybody's so mean to me.
In the end, the opinion's still split, huh? I'll think this over again. We might have missed something.
Well then, please look forward to your next release, Higurashi When They Cry, Watanagashi.
Alright. That's officially the end of Onikakushi.
Off to the next one.
Yep.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Technically, this was a tea party.
That was. I wonder if there's any more like that after the end of the other episodes.
That's a good question. One way to find out.
You're right. We just need to read another bunches of chapters. This time taking less than multiple months.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I mean, by the time you're seeing this, it will probably already be up.
Who knows? Okay. And oh, actually, before I end the recording, well, which side do you pick, humans or Oyashiro-sama?
I think it was the curse.
Oh, well, I'm a human myself. I'm thinking humans myself. You know what that means?
I guess you can see it was a split.
Viewer engagement. Who do you think did the curse? My best YouTube voice. Sound off in the comments. And spoil Higurashi for me. Just tell me the answer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, basically.
Okay, I went to get Burn Castle over there to spoil Higurashi no Nakogoro, just like in Umineko.
I can't believe she was about to say the culprit was Oyashiro-sama and there was no curse.
I'm not saying a damn thing.
Okay.